And we are live. Welcome to the RedBlue Pod number 97. How are you, DC?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
This is good. So we kind of started um a bit in advance before more could show up because we never know when the others will be available. So why not starting with Walking Dead season 5? Outside of that, I just realized last week we had the season finale for season 4. And it's funny how we covered The Walking Dead season 4 and now we start the season 5 of our show with this current episode, and we will cover season 5 of The Walking Dead. I think it's kind of funny there. It's rare that kind of stuff happens, but it does. Outside of that, we got a lot of other topics, and Alex has told us he will come around 5, so we have like a good 50 minutes to delete before he shows up. So with that being said, let's start off with your favorite show, man. The show I truly hate, but you truly love. What did you think of season 5?
All right. All right. I will say this. Season 5 is probably the worst season of the show. But it's not for the same reasons as you, Multi. I'm just going to straightforward point that out. It's not for the same reasons. In fact, I was watching season 10 earlier today, and I really don't get half your problems. At a certain point, I really don't get it. So I'm going to start off with things I did not like about season 5. I thought the season had arguably the worst structure when it comes to the storylines. Like even season 4, like it was very split down the middle. Like one story in the first half. Oh hi, there's Gray.
So we get started
Ahoy.
because I don't know if you would be able to make it because you told us, oh, maybe it's a bit too early in the middle of the afternoon. That's why we were like, okay, you know what? We will start by topics where we can cover it right off you.
Not to
But you're
throw you
there.
under the bus. I mean, you did just send the link like 2 minutes ago. Sorry,
At
I was
10
taking my
minutes
dogs
ago.
outside. I checked like 3 minutes ago and there was no link. So I was like, all right, I'll take my dogs outside really quick. And then all of a sudden it was going. So my bad,
My
but
bad.
also our bad, but good times. Season 5. DC, I'm sorry for interrupting you. As you know, alligator lives matter. What are you on it, season 5?
Yeah, all right.
That's also my bad. So sorry, Gray. I thought, I thought. Anyway,
We
that's
bad.
the
It's all
start.
good, man.
Yeah. How are you, Gray? Gray? How are you?
Sorry, I apparently was editing my name instead of unmuting. I'm doing great. It's good to be here. I should have been a little bit more organized, but good times. It's another Tuesday.
I'm
Yeah,
also
happy to be
not
here.
organized. I get that feeling, bro. I get it. I 100% get it. That's the weirdest start ever. So yeah, in case you missed it, we are officially starting season 5 of our show today. That's the first episode of season 5.
All
Wow.
right.
And we're talking
Okay,
about Walking Dead season 5. So weird coincidence. Good times.
that's exactly what I said. It's rare it's happening, but it does. Anyhow, DC, you can keep going with your thoughts on that really bad
All
season.
right. All right. So I'm gonna start with my problems, and I think the season. All right. So one of my biggest flaws with season 5 is the season structure is terrible. Is one of the worst I have ever seen. Like, and
Wait,
for
wait,
those
wait.
that
Sorry, bro. I try to understand. You rather watch like 6 different group of like 5 different people in it. So you'd rather watch like disjointed teams walking around with season 4 than like 3 storyline?
no is that
No, I think it's
I'm
the structure. It's the fact that
yeah
it's kind of like two different seasons, like mixed into one. You've got the
yeah
hospital, and then you've got
yeah yeah
Alexandria. It's
yeah
kind of weird.
yeah yeah. Plus
Season
season
4 was
like
worst, but okay, keep going.
multi. I'm just gonna sure say with season 4 is because they're all separated, and plus they at least had some connections. This season I didn't get that, unlike season 4. Plus, it wasn't really a huge problem in season 4. This season, I think it's a huge problem. But yeah. All right. So starting off, like before getting interrupted by our two co-hosts, forgive me. Um, one of my flaws was the
Alligator
season.
lives matter.
One of my biggest flaws is how the season structure is, like I said, is the worst because the first 3 episodes is the Terminus storyline. Then from episode 4 through 8 is the hospital storyline. And then from 9 through like 11 is just them walking, which isn't a storyline. And then 12 through 16 is the Alexandria storyline. And that's like 3 storylines all in one season. Now, granted, it's not flawed to have some shows can have 3 storylines in one season. It's just the fact that it took up many episodes kind of damaged the season, and it also kind of made some villains like Terminus. We didn't get that much to learn about them in the first 3 episodes, and they were great villains. You know, I'd rather have them be the first half's main villains, like episode 1 through 8 is the first half, because we can get more development. Because I'm gonna straight up say this, the hospital arc is like one of the worst. Were like the worst villains, one of the worst storylines, and
This I agree. Like the hospital was horrendous, but keep going.
like it was like the hospital stuff was very bad executed, in my opinion. But yeah, which because of that, it kind of brought a lot of the damper on the season as a whole. But yeah. My other problem is the fact that they just killed off good characters who are actually like interesting, and they just let the what's the nice word saying, the crappy characters just roam free. Like in this season, they killed Tyrese, who even in season 3 and 4 was more of a dare kind of character. I still liked his character. I thought
that was his name.
Tyrese was awesome, man.
I had no clue that was his name, but yeah, I know. That's the guy
that's
that
a you
played
problem,
Tobias
Multi.
Church.
You don't know any of their names. What's Katana Girl's name?
Michonne.
Okay, so now you know 3 names. Good job.
Yeah,
but,
and I know Daryl
awesome,
now. I know Daryl. Crossbow guy is Daryl.
You know, it's funny if I just sent Multi a question of a picture of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, I bet he's just gonna name him Rope Dart Man.
There's also a priest guy I actually hated this season.
And what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I hate the fact that he's a shitty priest.
Oh, that's Father Gabriel, and how
it is?
It's Gabe. I'm losing it. Cole, help us. Cole, if you hear this, come out here and save me from Multi's torment. But yeah, like I said before, the fact that they just kill off good characters like Tyrese, dampen the season.
Tyrese. That was an awesome
the
character.
fact that they let his sister Sasha roam free, who this season sucked like a lot, and the fact that they had to kill Bob, even though Bob in season 5 was just a dare kind of character, he was more fun than Sasha. So it's like, why do you have to? Yeah. Other things I did not like about the season. I will actually say this, but I think the Alexandria at first sucked. I did not like it at the first. Though I will admit this, it has kind of grown on me later seasons, so that's why I think it's more of the moment it sucks, later on it's great. It's average, or you're fine with it. That I will say. Yeah. Anything else I hated? Oh yeah, the fact that Pete, one of the best villains both in the show and in the comics, just gets 2 episodes and half of episode 14. Kind of grind my gears a bit, because his storyline was actually his storyline was actually somewhat fun and interesting, and that kind of leads me into my positives.
Was that the prick that was beating his wife?
Yeah, that his name was Pete.
Okay.
You might know him as Sword Guy at the end.
I know that was the prick beating his wife. That's all I know him.
Ugh,
But yeah, keep going.
sword guy. Sorry, Grace. Just now, now I don't think that will be. Forgive me, Gray. Forgive me. But yeah, now I'm gonna get into my positives. Pete, like I said, probably the best character of the season. Pretty underrated villain, if you ask me. I hear almost nobody talk about him, which it's kind of sad because I actually think he's the only good that actually saved this season. Like, if you ask me, who is the one character I would actually bring back from season 5? It's Pete because he saved this season. I will say that. I will admit that he did save this season. And that's why he kind of made season 5 more bearable than, say, another show that I'm not going to get into. I will agree. I will say this, that the Terminus cannibals were very terrifying villains, especially their demise. Like I can only imagine Gray probably had nightmares about that when he first watched this season.
That wasn't the only thing that gave me nightmares about this season, but yes.
A lot of the recurring characters like Rick were still pretty great throughout this season. Yeah, Father Gabriel, gonna be hated upon by everybody at this point, but I will actually say he was a great character.
I think he's supposed to be hated at this point. Like, you're not supposed to side with him. So,
But I mean,
I think they did a good job with him.
Multi, I love you.
He doesn't know who we're talking about, so he just removed himself.
No,
It's
he just left because he can't take my hot takes anymore. Like, I would say Daredevil, the season 5 of The Walking Dead is better than Daredevil, and he left. just like that.
Wow. The first season of Daredevil, I might go with you on like the third one. I think it loses some of its, but come on, man.
I mean,
season 5 is not the peak of Walking Dead, and the season 1, they're two different things for sure. They are comic book shows, but
yeah. And by the way,
I like Daredevil season 1, man.
And Gray, in case you're wrong, I'm talking about the entire show, Daredevil. Just to let you out there. Now I'm just waiting. Multi's gonna leave again. Okay, good.
The priest is the godly, awful character I despise. But go on.
Yeah,
you're supposed to. That's the writers doing their work.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to like him now. He has an arc that is coming later.
Yeah, that's the point of the character. Multi. That's the point of some characters. You're not supposed to like them at first, but then later on, you're supposed to like them. I like Gabriel.
But even his writing is on the wall, man. I hate it. Like, oh, he's just there to present that people change. No, whatever. I hate that character.
Can you at least see the kind of mastery and how they explained like his backstory? Like, you don't just get it right away.
Season 5, they only hint at maybe make up your own story about his past. They don't really tell you what's going on. Maybe they do. Maybe they do in season 6, but like 80 to 90% of the work on his backstory is you in your mind. Like the writer, they don't really provide you.
They explain like his church and that he didn't necessarily protect everyone like he's supposed to. There's more there than you'd think with that character. But you're not supposed to like him yet.
Yeah. Besides, this is a zombie apocalypse show, and it's supposed to be a realistic show.
But it's not, bro. It's not. I'm sorry, but that kind of virus doesn't exist yet. First of all, and second, I thought that would ever exist. But move on.
All right, I'm just gonna move
on.
Well,
that's a weird aside. I mean, couldn't that be said about any show? Like, okay, but these superheroes don't actually exist, so this isn't real. Moving on. Like, I think you could do that about any fictional show.
But he's saying it's realistic. It's not. It's
no, it's supposed to be a realistic portrayal of humans during a catastrophic event.
Yeah.
People aren't exactly altruistic. Some people are just looking out for themselves. Yeah. Some people think they're a different person than they are until they face that kind of challenge.
Yeah, plus multi-cannibalism is a thing, in case you didn't know, which...
I do. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of consider
But
this.
that part was decent. It's more like the priest chilling around that I despise. But move on.
All right. Yeah. Other things I liked about the season, like I said, Pete saved the season. When we get to Alexandria, there are some likable characters like Jessie. The I do like her character. I do like her character in the comics, and I do like her on the show. But yeah,
Which one is that? Is she the lesbian? Great. Do you know who Jesse is? I need help.
Um, I'm kind of blanking on which character Jesse is, to tell you the truth. It's been a minute since I've seen season 5. We got our expert back. Multi, oddly enough, doesn't remember who Jesse is. Is there any way that you could kind of refresh his memory as to who Jesse is?
Jessie is the wife of the woman getting beat by her husband.
Okay,
Multi.
I
Oh,
totally blanked on
okay.
her name.
Yeah, and that's sort of
I don't
why
want to
I
blame
also
Multi for
left.
that.
Yeah, it's
Being at
because
like season 9 or something, I do not remember Jessie. She isn't a huge character, but fair enough. I should have remembered that. But thanks for refreshing me.
she's only in season 5 and season 6. Very minor character, but I do like her character in the show. And Multi, I left as like how you leave when you hear my bad takes. So so now you know how I feel now, and that's probably gonna happen for until we're done covering The Walking Dead. So good luck with that, man.
Have you read my new nickname? That's
I'm
my
not even
new
gonna say.
nickname. I represent this show now. But keep going, my friend.
All right. Like I was saying, Jessie is one of my favorite characters. I do enjoy her character arc. How she goes from being a wife, a beaten housewife, to someone later on, which I do like. Yeah. Let's see. Other things I like. I do like how they do in a way. I do like how they make Pete look like he's actually a normal guy. But when you really think about it, he's really not a good guy. Yeah. And I will have to say that Rick and Pete fight in episode 15 was perfection. Probably the best fight scene I've ever seen in a TV show. I think it's the best fight scene on. Then I think it's better than any fights on Arrow, The Flash, Daredevil, Supergirl, any show. And it's sad because I don't see that many shows, but I'd say this fight scene was perfect. But
To,
yeah,
to my defense, great. Now I do. Daryl, Michonne, Rick, Carl. These are the only 4 good characters. But keep going,
What? You're
DC.
selling out Glenn, man. What about Abraham? Glenn. There's some good characters in that.
They still sucks, bro. Like Glenn
I
did
mean,
nothing for like the last 2 seasons, and suddenly he dies in season 6 because I started season 6. Gosh, like it's like they did nothing with him since season 2 or 3, and they just we are out of ideas. Let's just delete
you
him.
you
He gets
He
Are
has
married
you-
and
no
they show you how
character
people
arc.
would still
We're
want
definitely not.
companionship. He does have a character arc. His arc is his
yeah, he
relationship
does.
and dealing with an actual relationship at the end of the world. I think you're selling him short, man.
Yeah, I'm starting to think we're not watching the same show because, I mean, yeah, Glenn. I'll be honest, Glenn was never one of my favorite characters, but I never thought he didn't have a storyline, or I never hated him. I just didn't care much for him, or I never thought much of him. So that's why
And he's
I
grown
can't.
so much since the first season. Like,
Yeah,
there's a huge
This
arc at where
this
he's
I
at
agree,
now.
but most of his growth is from season 1, 2. Maybe 3 if you really stretch it because he got beaten down by governor, but
That's some
let's be
storyline.
honest,
That's
season
development,
4,
buddy.
season 4 he didn't grow, he didn't change. He was just seeking for his girlfriend. Season 5, I forgot what he actually did. Oh, he almost got deleted by the stupid character that
Yeah,
got growled
he got shot
to
in like the
then
shoulder
die.
or something. You know, he had to learn that he's not impervious to bullets or whatever.
He's
That's
like,
character growth.
Guys are really trying hard to defend Glenn, but okay, keep going, DC.
We're not
okay,
trying that hard. We're just pointing out the really
we're
obvious stuff
really
that we
just
thought.
pointing out the storylines, multi. Plus, I have said I'm not the biggest fan of Glenn, but even I will admit he has a storyline throughout the show. Oh, multi.
Anyone has a storyline for you, DC, so keep going.
Not everybody. So even the most random characters who are just background characters at the end of the day have a storyline. Some of them do, most of them don't. Multi. Okay.
The lesbian girl I can't name. She had no storyline since she was introduced in season 4,
Oh,
even with season 6.
I almost didn't even know who you're talking about until Tara. Yeah, in that case, Tara.
The girl that showed up with the liar and the redhead guy.
So wait, you're talking about Rosita?
No, that's that is Rosita, but the lesbian.
I don't know why. So why is Rosita a lesbian to you now?
No, I think
Didn't she said she was a lesbian or something? Because I know one of the character that was introduced with the redhead and the liar told bluntly she was lesbian.
That's not Rosita. She's not lesbian. Plus, she's in a relationship with Abraham, a guy.
No, so I was talking about the other girl that was with them, because there were 2 girls with them, and one of the 2 is lesbian.
Yeah, and the lesbian one, her name is Tara.
Yeah, maybe.
Is she the nurse? I'm kind of blanking on who the other one
No,
is.
she came with the redhead and the liar and the other girl.
Fair enough. I do not.
They
remember
appeared in
that
season
character.
4, but she's forgettable, so that's fine. I cannot blame you.
Great. Tara is the one who was with the governor in that season 4 episode.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just completely
no,
blanked that part of it.
This I'm not sure actually. I'm confused now.
Oh my god!
I
there were so
totally
many forgettable
trust DC on this. Yeah, but you don't remember any of the characters' names. You lump in a weird characteristic about them.
We had to give them ridiculous ridiculous names, like if I send you a picture of Ryu from Street Fighter, and you're not gonna remember his name, and we're gonna have to come up with.
I know Ryu. What are you talking about, man?
I'm using him as.
You mean White Gi? Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, so it's like he'd be like, we basically name him White Gi martial artist dude at best. So you see the struggles we go through, but yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna continue because I still have more things to talk about.
Please do.
Thank you, Gray. I'm gonna get back into some few negatives that I do remember. Other negatives I do have. Gray's probably gonna hate me, but I do think Abraham in the season was kind of terrible.
Where's Abraham? Is that the redhead guy?
The redhead guy.
If that helps, yeah, he's the redhead guy, but he's so much more than just his hair color, Multi.
Yeah. I personally did not like him this season. But yeah, I will say this: he does get better later on. But yeah, so that's.
I hope so, because so far with season 4 and 5, he still sucks.
Yeah, season 4 or 5, I didn't like him either.
Oh, we got Charles. How are you?
Hey, it's our punching bag.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charles. Forgive me.
I think we are his punching bag.
He's the punch-up guy. You guys got it wrong.
I'm a lot of guys.
Yeah. Please save us from Multi's torment. I literally left to show him how it feels when you leave, when he leaves, just to show our bad takes. Please save us from his torment.
I didn't know what's happening yet, nor do I know what's happening. So,
right now we're having a little chit chat about The Walking Dead season 5. Don't know if you remember that particular one. It starts out at Terminus, then goes to the hospital, and eventually they end up in Alexandria at the end.
Yeah,
that's just before you dropped out the show.
Yeah. The hospital. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of the weird season. It's the season before the Negan stuff.
And as I was saying,
And sorry, DC was just given his last part of it. I think you said that you were going to give a couple more negatives on it, DC.
Yeah, I have a few negatives that I would like to throw in. But yeah.
I'm here for the bad
Yeah,
stuff.
like I was saying, I wasn't a fan of Abraham this season. Neither was I last season, but I will admit he does get better later on.
It's not in season 6 for sure, because so far I started season 6 and
I don't
Abraham's
think
the
you
redhead,
are the
right?
best judge about any of this, and I don't think you can
Hell
say
yeah.
for sure because
I
you've
am.
started something that it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, that's a negative way of going about life, sir. I would recommend perhaps listening to young DC here.
Probably going to die in
Thank
the end too, because we all
Thank you,
die. That's
thank you,
bad.
Gray. Thank you, Gray. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, like I said, Abraham was kind of one of the weaker parts this season. But yeah, though I will say he does get better later on. But yeah, other things I did not like. I really hated that party episode. I just thought it was so out of place and it just happened like out of nowhere. And plus, I sometimes felt like, oh yeah, like I remember when I quit for a bit and then came back, I was like, oh yeah, I'm still at this party episode. I forgot. It generally, like I said before with Woodbury from season 3, it literally feels like you're watching a completely different show. Like, yeah, that's like one of my only problems. But other than that, it can be fun as like a Offspring episode. But yeah. I see Charles's eyes going crazy, and I wonder if he's maybe heard one of my Roar's hot takes.
No,
maybe he's trying to
I'm looking it
find
up.
like
Yeah.
some description about season 5 so he can recollect his thought.
Oh,
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm on YouTube looking for a summary of season 5 as quickly as possible.
It's a weird season.
I almost thought I was like Charles was like, but was like going crazy for my hot take. But yeah,
Oh no.
So at least I'm not the only one that thinks the show is forgettable.
Well,
Nobody said that.
I have
We
a-
literally haven't seen it in like a decade. That's not the same as saying it's forgettable.
yeah. Plus, I've only started watching season 10 again. And I can still remember like season 1.
Season
So-
1 was the only good one
multi-issue.
so far. Season 1 was the only good one so
You
far.
could not be more wrong, Multi.
Mm.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just
to not-
wait. It's going to get really
Well,
polarizing soon, Multi.
Season 2 was enjoyable, but again, I don't
But
think it was any good.
wait. Didn't you hate it season 2? You said season 2 was horrible and terrible.
Not really. I said that was a 5, and for me a 5 it's like bad but not awful. Season 3 was awful.
Bad. I didn't say it was horrible. It was just bad. Really drawn out A. Fair enough. Sorry, DC, we keep interrupting you, sir. I think you had something else to add about season
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, I had a few things to add. Yeah. I think I'm done with my negatives. I know it was a lot of negatives, but yeah. So overall, like I said, I do have some positives, but yeah. Overall, I will even say the finale is a bit underwhelming. Apart from the last 3 minutes, like when it goes from Rick, he enters the trial or quote unquote trial, and essentially he's ready to execute Pete and all that, and then he goes for the execution. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That was great, very enjoyable. I love the music in that, but yeah. So overall, yeah. I would still say The Walking Dead season 5 for me personally is the worst season of the show. It's got a lot of problems, some really poor storylines, but at the same time, I will still say it still has its good moments. And this is gonna be for Multi because I can't handle his opinions. Season 5 of The Walking Dead is better than Daredevil, the entire show of Daredevil.
My
That is a hot take.
yeah.
Well, I think I can get through my kind of critique of it really quick. You might have more insight because you've actually seen it sooner, Multi. So
Yeah, I do.
let me
but
just
go
throw
for it,
mine out
Jake.
there and then I'll get out of the way. But season 5 for me, it's not the worst season of Walking Dead. I think that's still coming up for me, but it is half of the worst season. Half of the season is the worst of Walking Dead for me. But I think the other half of it, the Alexandria stuff, really kind of stuck with me. When I'm like going back and thinking about season 5, the only thing I can remember is the Alexandria stuff. I don't remember the Terminus. I remember hating the hospital stuff, but I couldn't tell you exactly what happens other than is her name Beth? That her whole
Beth.
thing that happens. Yeah, where it's like I remember that, but I couldn't tell you like the individual things other than it was just like that was pointless. Like, why did we have this weird little journey there? But I like the Alexandria stuff. I like the slice of life that, like, you know, these people, they want a sense of normality, so they have like caged themselves in. You know, we do get glimpses of that with like the prison, but this is kind of like a self-imposed prison. And then on top of that, they want it to be like the old world, so they're not having guns or anything like that. And then you even see the heroes who have gone through hell accepting that. Like Michonne gives up her sword. They're totally willing to, you know, not be armed in this really dangerous world, which is interesting. But then you see like the human issues come into it. You do see like spousal abuse. You do see, you know, just how conniving people can be, how jealous, how petty. These human problems don't escape this paradise in the middle of, you know, the end of the world. I like that part. That really sticks with me. I do like some of the performances. I think Rick really goes through a lot in this particular season. That being said, they do kind of a similar thing like with Tyrese, and I think they really pulled that off horribly. I hate that character just got deleted for almost no reason because now all of a sudden he's being delusional. I don't know. I think that could have been done a lot better. I think the character deserved more, but from what I understand, a lot of these actors kind of wanted out at this point, which sucks. But I like the Alexandria stuff. I don't hate any part of it. I remember thinking like, okay, this is turning kind of a new leaf. And then once we get to that, I really like the finale for this particular season. There is a lot going on in that whole thing. You do learn a lot about Father Gabriel, and you're supposed to kind of hate him at this point, Multi. But, you know, characters change. You kind of learn redemption arcs, if you will. You might still hate him, but you're not supposed to like him at this point. But you know, he happens to leave the gate open and just like lets all hell break loose. But this doesn't seem like the first time he's done that. So I don't know. Overall, I end up liking the end of the season. So for me, it's a really mixed bag. We get some interesting characters kind of coming back. In this one, I'm guessing Multi could not name the character that we've met, I think 3 times now that kind of comes back at the very end.
I can't.
Just a guess. You can't?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can.
There's a guy with the
Perfect.
bow staff. The guy with the bow
That's the
staff
dude.
is cool.
His
That's
name
the
is
dude.
I
You know,
Morgan.
enjoy
mustache
that
man.
guy. He
It's
has a
Donatello.
great episode.
So Donatello comes back and joins the group. It's pretty awesome.
He has a great episode in season 6.
Tubular.
Mm-hmm. You do get to know him a little bit more from here, and it is totally tubular. You know, cowabunga.
Yeah,
But
also, multi. The guy's name is Morgan.
it's true.
So
You've had even more time with him. You had even an episode that you thought was a good one, and you still didn't memorize his name. I think that's a you problem, Multi. There are more than 5% of the characters.
But I know Michonne. I know Rick. I know
Multi.
Daryl. I know Carl.
I knew all the characters' name by the end of the season. If it takes you multiple seasons, that's a you problem. If a character for me is forgettable, it's because I don't think about them that much. So
The priest guy sucks. But yeah.
So far, I like some of the like kind of hooks they send out to kind of get you thinking, who are these characters? There's some work that they do with Eugene and you know, that whole group with Abraham, Rosita, and I can't remember the third name, but or the fourth name. I kind of dig like the mystery that's going on with that. I don't think they explain anything on it this season. I think that kind of comes next, but yeah, I remember liking a whole bunch of elements of it, but it's kind of a mixed bag. So for me, it's not a perfect season, but it seemed like an improvement once we get to Alexandria for me. But not for Multi, apparently. Multi, what was your experience with season 5?
So I gotta tell you this. We clearly hit rock bottom with season 4. I despise season 4. So with season 5, I was glad it wasn't as bad. So that's one good thing going for it. It's actually, I even say this season is the best one we had since season 2. Like 1 and 2 are clearly far better than this, but oh my, the hospital stuff. I hated this shit. I don't think I know anyone that liked it. Do you guys liked it?
I
Hospital,
did not
the
like it.
hospital.
I think it was like the worst villains for the show.
Great. What
There's
did
some
you think
people
of
in
the
mind that
hospital?
like it because like you get Beth's kind of development and you kind of get to see her kind of grow a little bit and then immediately just get taken out.
Deleted.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but
Is Beth the
there
blonde?
are some people that defend
Yeah,
it.
that's the youngest daughter of the farmer.
Yeah, Maggie's
That's a-
sister.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
they shot that in Dutch in both angles. It was. I mean, it's paint by numbers cinematography, but I don't remember that in my head. And now just watching it back, I'm like,
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
couldn't tell you what the cinematography was for any of that part.
neither could
remember
I
kind of-
until I just watched it now.
I remember the emotion. Like Beth's character does kind of go through a journey. She does kind of like plead with them, and you can see that she's gaining some strength. But yeah, it's not a great whole like I don't know what you want to call it, tangent for the season. It's only a few episodes, and it's definitely forgettable. I didn't remember that part happening in 5 at all.
And her send-off like doesn't really impact that much the rest of the cast, so she just got deleted for like shocking moments. Like her
that
death
wouldn't
didn't
be-
add. Wait.
If it didn't, if it's shocking, it affected the cast, no? Because if it's not shocking, that doesn't add anything.
Well, it's shocking for the viewer, not necessarily for the cast. It's like, oh, they deleted her. Like the other guy they deleted that season had a much better send off because we actually get to experience the other characters having grief over that. But
Well,
Blondie,
you do
they
get to kind of
barely
experience
address
it
her.
through Maggie, though. Like Maggie wasn't sure that her sister's alive, and then she gets like confirmation, and then all of a sudden she's out. Like you do get to kind of go through that journey with her.
Yeah.
But the oldest sister you're mentioning, like she's not worthy of me mentioning her name, but like she didn't change after that.
Okay, but if you were to deem her worthy, could you mention her name? Do you know what it is?
No.
He's probably just gonna say, "Oh, her name is Chun-Li," and just
Her name is the farmer daughter, the oldest one.
Yeah,
That
her
was
name
her
is
wrestling
Maggie.
pseudonym.
It's Maggie.
Or it's Glenn's wife.
It's Maggie.
It's Glenn's wife. It's
Wait,
Glenn's
you don't know
wife.
Maggie's name? That one I
No,
know.
It's Glenn's wife.
He knows like 3 names. Right now he can do Carl, Rick, and Michonne, and that's about
and
the extent of it.
Daryl
people live in the same house.
and Glenn. Daryl and Glenn.
You
But
didn't
Glenn is
remember
a
Glenn earlier, and you
lesser
said he's not a good
character.
character.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Daryl
one of the few
constantly-
bad
Why is he
characters.
worthy of you remembering? Why is he
Because
not
I
baseball
liked
cap,
what
dude?
they did with him with season 1 and 2. So that's one thing.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as change for the worse.
And you know,
Actually,
point,
it
yeah,
didn't
it's so
change
hard.
that much.
This is now 4 seasons that you've watched that you're not really a fan of. That's not a change for the worse.
No, he also hated season 2, so this is.
Well, season 2, I disliked it. I didn't hate it.
You said you
as
gave it a
much as
5, which is extremely low for you.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
might
wouldn't
as well
say
be
that.
a 0.
yeah, like for me, I enjoyed the first 2 seasons. Just did not like season 3 through 5. Then that's where we are right now. So
but
you see,
I gotta say, I gotta say, I started season 6, and actually, if the season keep going this direction, I think I will like it. I just hope they don't mess up after what I've seen so far. It's just my
Multi,
hope.
I do not believe you, my friend. I
I
do not.
swear, so far I've seen 4 episodes, and these were the best episodes in season 2.
I wish I can believe you, but I really don't.
I swear, I like it so far. But
I really
Best
don't believe
episode
you.
since the rating of a 5 out of 10. So okay.
Yeah, I really don't believe you for a reason. So forgive me, Multi, for not believing you, but you have to understand.
Maybe season 6 will be a second season I like.
That I find hard to believe. Because, I mean, you hate almost every season to a point where it's driving
season 2, again, I thought season 2 was bad, but I enjoyed parts of it. And the same goes for 3, actually. Like, I thought that was actually an awful season, but there were good moments in season 3. So, anyway, season 5. On I got so many issues. Not as many as 4, because it's currently an improvement over 4. My first issue would be pacing. Perfect example. Many scenes have the dialogue of people being stretched as far as they could by placing random pause within the said dialogue just to make it more lengthy. Like, instead
And
of
you think
telling
6 is going to be better than 5?
there's still that going on. I know.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say about 6.
I know there's still that. That's
Honestly,
one of my
I don't
few
even want to
issues.
hear. I don't want to hear his
But-
thoughts on 6 anymore because I'm like,
Yeah, kind of
I
second what
I'm
DC's
gonna
saying.
be honest, Charles and Guy. I now regret asking for The Walking Dead because now it's just a show he clearly hates.
This is your doing?
Yeah,
Yes.
He brought this
Yeah,
upon
I thought he
himself.
liked
So-
it.
Here, look at my darling,
DC
smash it.
suggested. So basically, what happened? Like, DC and I, we know each other for like 3 years, almost 4 years actually, and we've been talking a lot on the internet and such. And eventually, he joined the show, and eventually, I was like, you know what? Make a list of stuff you'll suggest for the show, and The Walking Dead was one of them.
Here's 26 hours of content to consume in 1 week.
And that's just the appetizer.
Yeah, and
Because
to
there's
be
like
honest,
20 spin-off we will never watch. For once, I don't want to see.
Yeah,
any
Donatello has a
spin-offs.
spinoff.
I hear one of the spinoffs is okay. The two that I've seen weren't, but
There's
to be
more
honest,
than 2.
Charles, I literally regret doing The Walking Dead now because how multi is. He's driving me insane. And
Maybe season 6 will change things. You know, maybe.
we're like halfway
No,
there.
I
now.
don't-
Trust me,
And
I
he's saying
just
that
like
this
that
is-
way.
he's saying season 6
That's
will
where I
change,
tapped
but it's
out.
like he makes it perfectly clear he hates the show that much. But yeah, okay.
It's like a Band-Aid, though. You can't put it back on. Like, we're halfway up. We gotta yank the rest of it, man.
Yeah.
Does somebody have the other seasons? Because I'll take a bullet and watch the rest of the series if somebody can get me the content.
I mean, it's on
Hell
Netflix.
yeah,
It's on Netflix.
Is it on
That's-
Netflix in the States? In UK, excuse me.
Or I don't like to promote that, but there are websites.
Yeah. I don't want to do any piracy here
Okay.
while they're watching every move I make here.
Okay.
An
Okay.
excuse to not
Perhaps
come
a
back.
wise choice.
Back to airport jail with you. I wish that was a joke.
With multi, you never know. So yeah.
But no, I'll watch the rest of it if you guys are going to go all the way through.
Yeah,
I'll
we
catch
go,
up.
we
I
do.
think I stopped at 9, so I'll finish it off.
How
too.
many are there?
11.
They're 11.
10.
Oh,
They're 11. Damn it. Okay, so I
man.
got 2 to do. Yeah. I thought it was only 1. I was like, yeah, I could do 1. Okay.
I mean, multi. Gray. I literally just called Gray multi. Oh.
Yeah, that is insulting, sir. Wow. Do you not remember names either?
Great. Okay, there are 11 seasons, so you're still like 2 off. Plus 9 plus 2 equals 11. Unlike what multi would probably know. So
You're
yeah,
right.
you're
I
not
just thought
that-
it was
you weren't
10
that
for
far
some
off.
reason. I was like, yeah, I think I never watched the last season. Apparently, the last 2. So
Yeah.
I need to catch up. I think I dropped off at like the start of 10. So
It's only
fair enough. I can do
74
that.
hours of content to consume.
Yeah, no
Easy
big
squeezy.
deal.
On a
That
weekly
weekend.
basis.
On a weekly basis.
It's not
Just
that
to stay
much.
fresh.
There was a time look, Charles, like last summer, Cole and I had a lot of time, and DC had seen a lot of the topics we covered. So basically, we had like 2 seasons of TV show with like 20 episodes ish, and we had like 6 movies. So we had like 8 topics, and like
The bad old days. So the 12-hour stream days.
Yeah, that was.
Well,
we
that's
were going for
exaggerated.
He was
The
Short
longest was
form
6
now.
hours.
Instead, we're trying to do the targeted 1-hour version of The
Yeah.
Walking Dead to open the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, my next issue would be pacing. Another 16-episode story that could have been told within 12 episodes or so. Like there's a lot of moment in between. You just cut that, or you put together pieces of episode, like, and it works better. But yeah, pacing was bad. Characterization was bad. The priest, they barely expand on his past. for most of the show. He's been a pacifist, yet he's suddenly in the end of the season. He goes after trouble. He also inconsistent since he tells the viewer he wants to die, yet he doesn't let himself die because he goes in front of the zombie. He's like, I want to die, but then he changes his mind. He doesn't want to die anymore. Like there's like a 10-second character flip, and he's like, oh, I will just delete the zombie. I hated that moment so much. I was like, if you want to die, just die. You're not even a good character.
It's inner conflict.
Yeah, it's inner conflict.
I hated this character.
Oh fuck.
Okay, you can say you weren't a fan of the inner conflict instead saying I didn't like the character, but okay, Multi.
Characters are forgettable, and most of them don't get growth.
Okay,
yeah,
how come it's okay? How come I can remember characters from even like season 1 right now? And
But it's your favorite. So there's
I liked the story. Look, it was 6 episodes long. It was brief, and the story was solid, and the characters were enjoyable. But I admit, there were too many characters. I did struggle with their name. Like it took me 4 seasons to learn Rick's name.
That is sad, Multi. That is very sad.
He's the Tony Stark of the series.
I know.
He's almost
in my mind. That
Tony
was the lead
Stark's name.
character. That was the lead character in my mind.
Let's take a step.
It's like
away.
Multi. That's like the one character you should at least know his name. The fact you couldn't
No,
is very sad.
lighting was awful most of the time. Again, that's something you repeat each season. Only season 1 didn't add that horrendous lighting.
Have you ever adjusted the lighting like on your monitor or anything like that?
Yeah, like honestly,
you comment on like every show being the lighting. I know they do.
It's
like,
only
day
The
for
Walking
night
Dead,
on
dude.
Walking Dead, but
And
It's-
Halo as well.
it's
Halo
so you
has
can see it.
also
Oh my god.
Halo in this have both terrible lighting.
Halo had terrible lighting. This I haven't noticed as much, but
A good Machine Head song.
Rewatch, bro. I'm telling you, the lighting.
Okay,
sucks.
like Multi, but the question is, how come when I was watching season 10 the other day, I was still, and it was in the middle of day, so it was in the middle of the day.
Me too. Alex, remember Alex was ashamed. I was agreeing with him. Well, actually, he was ashamed. He was agreeing with me. So I'm not crazy with that because Alex was like, "You're right on that."
I
And he
don't
also
think that proves you're
explained
not
in
crazy.
a better way. He explained on a better way than I could why the lighting sucked in this show.
Yeah, it was them shooting day for night, so it just looks unnatural.
And then
but-
placing a filter on top of that, making it worse.
how you have to.
But
kinda
it's like I
change it.
was still able to see, but okay. So you can continue.
You might want to bump the brightness up just a little bit. Is
Do
all
you
I'm
know what-
saying.
Do you know what Gray is saying? Day for night. Do you know what that means?
Probably not.
No.
It's when you film something in the afternoon and then you
Oh,
turn
yeah.
in post production, you make it
Yeah,
seem bluish.
like
So you can
the
actually
nighttime.
kind of
Right.
see what action is going on. Where like if you're doing it like at night, it's really hard to catch a lot of things. A lot of
Right.
things will be out, so that they do it so that it's more visible. But I don't know.
Sometimes they want to shoot like nighttime stuff, but they are out of nighttime shooting, so they color correct it during the day.
They're out of moon.
For sure.
No,
Like,
like
it kind of
sometimes they
depends.
can.
Sometimes it's a choice so that they can
Uh-uh.
actually see more in the frame because
Yeah.
you know,
But-
like there is actually light, and then they can darken it to the amount that they want, as opposed to trying to light
Right.
something and
It's-
keep it dark.
Right. It's easier that way.
But also
Sometimes-
scheduling. Like you're not wrong. Like scheduling is also part of it.
Yes, like sometimes they can shoot for like 16 hours straight, and like within these 16 hours straight, you don't necessarily have all of the time for your night shots you wanted or your day shots you wanted. So that's why you end up with some issues with this. But yeah, next up would be characters aren't consistent. The mayor speaks about transparency, yet she hides the fact that the villain was beating his wife.
Okay, this I have to defend. Okay,
What do you mean by she hides it? Like,
Well,
she
she
doesn't
did.
address it?
She did hide it really hard.
she
Like-
only she hid it because Pete was a doctor, so he's useful, but he does something bad.
But she speaks about transparency, dude. You cannot do both. That's like
Conflict.
Well, so
Well,
if
in
it is
this
transparent to
multi-
everybody else that this is a transactional like relationship, he's got this over us, so we can't really talk shit to him. Otherwise, he leaves us without a doctor. I
Yeah,
don't know,
plus
man. I'm not
multi-
sure that
multi-
that's necessarily hiding it as opposed to like she's playing
she did
along
hide
because she
it.
has no other choice.
yeah,
She did
plus
hide it
multi-
because she did hide it because in the meeting she made it look like it was all of Rick's doing, and Rick's created the conflict. While it was a conflict created by both when they had a fight, both of them, and she left in purpose out of the discussion the reason why Rick went after the
well,
other
that's
one.
because
Again,
multi-
that could be
multi-
because of the unspoken, like, mob. Like, it would be a real shame if you were to upset me when I am the one controlling all the doctor needs here. I don't know, man. I think that's a bit of a stretch. It doesn't seem like that's inconsistent with that character, who's also, taking away people's weapons, trying to make it seem like this slice of paradise is just perfect. And I don't know. That seems like that's exactly the same type of deal. It seems like it's that pretending like everything's okay. That seems consistent with the character to me.
yeah, it's consistent because here's the thing, multi. They all of them are together, so that's why. And I think they're aware of that. Just that the show doesn't make it out to be, but they're all aware of that. They've been in that area for since season 1, so that's why at least the Alexandria people at the time. So it's because of that, it's kind of believable. Plus, they need a doctor. So, and plus, look at the world. It's not your typical
Okay,
superhero world.
I will say something. Actually, Gray, you made a good point. I kind of agree after thinking back to what you said. So actually, this one I will take it away. But
Good.
because you convinced me, not DC. DC, your argument didn't hold up as well as Gray.
This isn't debate, though. This is like
Apparently it is. I'm sorry, DC. You have forfeited your argument, apparently.
To be honest,
wow.
I think
that's just weird and insulting in a way. But
yeah,
okay.
and plus, I think Maltese now is thinks he's more watching a Marvel or DC show because of that now. And this is The Walking Dead. There's no superheroes. There's no supernatural characters. There's no time travel. It's just normal people going
Well, I mean,
into a zombie
there are
apocalypse.
zombies.
Yeah, there are
Donatello.
zombies.
I mean, I love how all of you just ignore the fact that cannibalism is a thing, and plus, the zombies don't time travel, unless that's what you're thinking.
But they
because
don't
these are-
exist, bro. They don't exist. Anyhow,
Cannibalism is the thing.
Yeah, cannibalism is a thing.
Wait, what? I'm
Oh my
confused.
god.
So I thought Rick wasn't consistent at some point. He doesn't trust the newcomer. He asked every question beside the one that truly mattered. It's like he asked like a few questions here and there, but there's like they wait until they are in the car to tell Rick, oh, did you ask him the 3 questions? It's like, why didn't he lead with this if these 3 questions are that important? That's like, how many human did you delete? How many walker did you delete? And there was a third question I forgot what that was.
And the third question is just why? Why did you kill the? Why did you?
Oh
delete?
yeah, why? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but those are kind of when they were on their own. They're now a part of this other thing. He's not really living by his rules at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, look at the people they had to encounter before, and ask those guys if they helped them. No, they had to encounter literal cannibals before that. So it's like, can you? To be honest, I'm not even gonna argue. I think you need therapy if with all your problems, because I may have problems, but at least
we could all use therapy.
Fucking A.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because I mean, at least when I give out my opinions, at least Gray and Cole, Alex, and Charles seem to at least take them better and at least understand more than say yours.
Next up would be Rick. Rick is smart. He doesn't trust Michonne after she hit him in the back, yet he tells his plan in front of her. So he doesn't trust her, but he tells her, like, look, that's our plan. That scene was weird. Like,
he trusts her, but he knows that she is enjoying this and is like kind of buying into the fact that we could live in this little slice of heaven.
Yeah.
But he knows that he knows her. Like,
yeah.
That's why I do believe he would be fine saying, like, okay, this is my actual plan. You're not really going to stop me. You know that this is right. But fair enough. Your interpretation
I
is also
thought that
open to
scene was weird. That was goddamn weird, that scene. So, yeah.
He does trust her, Multi. It's just that at the time...
he said himself in that scene. That's how the scene started. Michonne, I don't know if I can trust you, but here's our plan.
He probably meant that in a different way. Not like, oh, he doesn't trust her.
No, bro. That's how he said it. That's what he was thinking. That's right after she smacked him in the back, dude. That's what happened. She hit him in the back, and then when he wakes up, he's like, I don't know if I can trust you, but here's our plan.
Oh, my God. Carry on.
Again, they've got the history, but she just hit him. So it would be like,
yeah, like give him the history,
but you're kind of taking them over me. I don't know if I can trust you. Here's what we're doing, though. Like that doesn't seem inconsistent. I don't know exactly what your criticism of that is. Like, it is a choice.
I mean,
it's not
really
even inconsistent.
Stupid.
I mean, if that
what
was
if
like
she decides to stop them? She knows their plan.
Yeah, but couldn't you literally say that with like any scene? Like, well, what if they did the opposite, though?
Yeah. Plus, even though Rick didn't do anything bad, he did pull a gun. Still not the worst thing he's done, but he still did something. So to the eyes of the other people, they can still see that as him doing something bad and attacking.
And he was acting pretty fucking crazy in that moment too.
Yeah,
like, that's what I mean by like Rick's character kind of goes on a journey there. Like he's, you know, kind of like crazing out, and people are not 100% certain that he is in his full facilities, if you will. Like they saw him freak out at the prison before.
Yeah, pretty much.
It does seem like he might be having a break.
Yeah, though, Gray, I wouldn't use the word journey. If you ask me, I wouldn't use that word, but I can kind of get where you're coming from.
They literally go on a journey from one place to another.
I mean, journey's
metaphorical.
I mean, with journey, I don't really assume that. I think it's more like learning.
Steve Perry.
But yeah. Just I wouldn't use the word journey, but yeah.
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. Yeah, you can't.
My next issue is that cop girl that was in charge of the hospital. She got under my skin. I hated that character. She was one-dimensional, and her only characteristic is, she has power and she's greedy. She always wants more, and that's it. She doesn't really have a character arc. She just gets deleted because it's fun to delete. Like,
how is that a gripe against the show that they have a lesser boss character that you don't like?
Oh, she's not a good character.
I mean, I didn't like her character.
I don't understand how that's like an issue that you have with the show. That like this one character who's there for like 3 episodes is not a great character. Like, I don't know. Right. I remember her. I remember her being greedy. I remember them doing the kind of like false, whatever you want to call it. They're wearing like the uniforms of good, but they're not doing good. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem one-dimensional to me. Like you mentioned, at least 2 different motivations, that she's power hungry and greedy. That doesn't seem one-dimensional. That would be 2-dimensional at the least.
She already has powers, and she wants more power. That's her characterization.
Okay. I don't agree with that. I will agree she's a terrible villain and a terrible character, but
why would you say you don't agree with that? But why is she a terrible villain for you?
The reason why she's a terrible villain is because of the fact that she added nothing. The rivalry between the Rick's group and the hospital police, that's what I kind of refer to them, because that's kind of what they are, was kind of one-dimensional. You never... Like, I will also say is with each Walking Dead villain, they at least have some sort of a realistic topic. Plus, the hospital people, nothing interesting ever happens with any of them. The only interesting thing is really their final scene, which is just which just Beth's death essentially, and that's about it. That's like the only actual interesting thing they have. But
I mean,
the
like
reason why,
the other thing is like it adds to the human element. Like she's not meant to be like a big boss or anything like that, but it's supposed to show that like humans are also falling to like their baser needs, their desires, their petty squabbling, where we could actually work together, but they're choosing not to. I don't know. To me, it's not necessarily one dimensional. I think the entire thing, like the entire set piece with I can't remember, how did they blow up parts of it? Was it bombs through the air duct or something? Like it.
Oh no,
I don't remember that.
No, I think that's
okay.
later.
I might be combining. Yeah. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, that's later because they don't use bombs or explosions or any of that. This is
their plan was to do it, but then someone else told them maybe there's another way, like make a trade or something. But that was their original plan, to go all gun and blaze inside, but they kind of changed their mind because someone else brought up another alternative.
Well, that's because
fair enough. I don't know if it would be, so you're taking off points for this, right? Like 0.3 or something like that, because
0.1 million.
The lady in the
0.5. I took out 0.5 from that.
So you're taking 0.5 off of it because you think this character is not a good character.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That's a weird rating scale for this. I don't think it makes sense, and I don't think you can justify that she isn't a good character. You've mentioned multi-dimensions, and then you said that she's only one-dimensional. I don't know, man.
No, she's already powerful and she wants more power. That's
all right. You're saying only 5% of the Walking Dead characters don't suck. You're saying that you're taking off 0.5 because you think this character sucks. So are you taking off 0.5 for every other character that you say sucks in this show? It seems inconsistent on your part for the rating of this.
Yeah.
Great, just don't even bother anymore. I'm not even gonna bother. I've lost so many brain cells from Maltese takes. It's insane.
So I did point out lots of issues I had. Here's are a few likes. I enjoy the fact that now I admit after 5 seasons they try to change the set design every season. We had a prison, we had a farm, we had a village. We had some random road with season 4, and now we got a hospital, a village, and another village, I guess. So like most of them are village, but hey, they try to have diversity of set, so that's a thing I enjoyed. The action was cool, and I will also admit something else. Like in season 4, we had like random zombies just showing up, like just to make fake tension. This season we didn't add that, so I guess that's an improvement. Rick becoming like Shane was kind of cool. Finally showing a place genuinely good that wants the world to become better felt refreshing. That's like Alexandria, or I don't know. Like I know it's mismanaged and that's the point of it, but I enjoy finally seeing like a place where people are good, or most of them, I should say, are good, outside of like the wife beater and such. So yeah, these are my few likes. This season for me was better than 3 and 4. I don't have much more to say. I will give this season a 4 out of 10. What about you, DC?
All right, this may seem very, very harsh, but I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Okay, that's surprising. What about you?
That is harsh, but your scale does seem consistent. I think I'd give it a 5. Parts of it are good, parts of it are bad. To me, it's a real mixed bag. The show does get worse. This is not the bottom floor. The hospital part might be, but yeah, half the season is good. So for me, I'll go like 5.
Okay. Next topic. Except if Charles would like to add more on that one.
No, blurry man, go ahead.
Too blurry?
Perfect amount. It matches your opinions.
So I guess coming next would be Invincible. Because I did watch that in the bus from a town to another one. My notes are not in depth. I still remember quite well the episode. So I'll let you start on that one, Gray. So Invincible season 2, episode 7.
I'm kind of interested in where you were going, Multi. Now,
Set us down.
go on, Greg.
Yeah, he enjoys bus rides. You know, when he gets free time, he likes to sit and see the country.
Yeah. He surely isn't. He surely isn't just using his superpowers to just travel to Charles and Gray house just to get into a street fight with them and beat them up.
Why would I?
Better not, but just in case.
What kind of stories do you have in your mind? I'm worried.
So yeah, Invincible season 2, episode 7. I thought it was pretty good. I really liked elements of it. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. The introduction of, now I can't remember her name, but the Viltrumite who looks an awful lot like Supergirl from the Flash movie. That was really cool. And I thought her, so Mark has kind of a personal conflict going on. So do a couple other members of the team. I can't remember his name, but the robot child guy, and then the girl who keeps de-aging when she turns into the monster. So that was kind of interesting seeing their interpersonal problems, and then the way that they're not necessarily dealing with it correctly. Same thing with so many tests.
Sorry.
Just went like pop on my screen. I saw like a squirrel. I had to, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I like Black Samson, and I think his name is Bulletproof. I like their conversation above that. It really was kind of fun seeing the other members of the team, and then the Immortal kind of really taking Kate's death hard and having to step down from the team, along with Rex needing to get back into it. I thought it did a lot for the team this time. I really dug that. I kind of dug Mark's relationship. Like, yeah, he can't really devote any time towards this, especially when this threat is looming that will, take out all of Earth civilization, if you will, because we're going to kill ourselves in 200 years. So why wait that long? So yeah, it's kind of a fun motivation. Yeah, it's a dark comic. It's Kirkman. It's fun. But yeah, seeing like Rexplode get back in there and fight the squid guy, I thought that whole fight was really cool, and seeing like his limitation, but then actually his new powers, if you will. I thought there was a lot of pros to this, and then just seeing Mark's relationship and seeing how it kind of came to an end, and then the way that it comes to an end with just this Viltrumite chick just giving the ultimate threat to him. I thought that was amazing. And then just the fact that he will not give in to her. I like how it shows how vicious she is in a few different ways, including his fight with her, but also their fight with like was it a Hydra or whatever the space creature was. That was awesome. I think there's just a lot of pluses to this. And I think, the nod that Alan, the wink that Alan the alien gives us at the end is just like perfect. I can't wait for the finale, which I guess is this week. I think Friday is when it comes out. Yeah. The second half of the season has been so consistent for me. I dig it. And it looks like we are going to have quite a few new threats that I'm really looking forward to that I think are going to come next season. It looks like this next episode is I can't remember his name, but the dude from the start of the season who gave himself the knowledge of all of his interdimensional selves, who now has taken Invincible's mom and brother hostage, or half brother hostage. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's got me. I can't wait for the finale, and the second half of this season has just been so consistent. The first half of it there were a couple of them that I think were setups that were a little bit slower for me, but this has just been action packed, and I love what they're doing with every character in this. So excited for that one.
I'm with you, man. Now I gotta say, usually Cole sends notes. I guess he forgot. That's fine. So
he probably didn't even want to bother with you, given how your hot take.
Yeah, he knows you don't listen. You're not gonna read it. It's all good, man.
Yeah, I did read it last week, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm
just giving you crap for the one that you're like, and here's DC's take. Oh well, I'm gonna stop reading it now.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
mixed
because
up
Cole
things.
can't take
That's
your
my
opinions
bad.
anymore. I don't think Cole can take your opinions anymore. I think he's like, I need therapy. Like I said, I think Cole needs therapy because of it. But yeah.
So, this week I had a blast, and I feel like I keep saying the same thing about this show because this show is just amazing. I like it so much.
I almost thought we were like closing. I was like, wait, what? Are we closing out this quick?
No. I enjoyed this episode. I had no issue whatsoever, and the few bits of notes I do have is saying perfect episode. I did tear up in the breakup. Best episode in the show so far. So this is the takeaway. I enjoyed the fight quite a lot, both fights, and the guy that gets back in the game, he's
Rex
cool
Blow.
now. He's cool now. That's a cool character. I hated, but now I like. So good job.
No, it's
everyone.
awesome. It's voiced by Jason Mantzoukas. Like that dude is pretty awesome. He's always fun and wild card. But yeah, Rexplode is pretty badass now.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So okay. I enjoyed this, but again, I don't have much notes out there. But that's the sad part. Again, that's one of my favorite episode we had, and this deserves for me a 10 out of 10 because I don't have much to say about it. What about you, Gray?
Yeah, I think I'd go either. Yeah, I guess I'd go 9 out of 10 because it does set up some stuff. I assume they're going to pay it off in the next one, but yeah, I think it could get better than this. So I don't know. To me, it's just a really solid episode. I'd give it a straight up 9.
It's another banger. Like last week, I remember giving a 10. This week as well. Or actually, that was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, but there was another
These
10.
last three have been really consistent, and actually the mid-season finale too. So like 4, 5, 6, 7 have just been amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to 8. I think the season finale is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm hype about it, and I'm glad in the end of this season we didn't really add another like world-ending threat. It was like a mix of stuff and set up as well for the future. Like I know
there's the
season
looming world-ending threat. The
Yeah, for
Viltrumites
season
sent.
3.
I
Yeah.
can't remember her name, but she's there to remind him that her accomplice is going to come back, and he has to have made his decision by then or get everything in order.
I hope this will be a season 3 thing. I really hope that.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing that in the next episode. I think the next episode is going to be the other threat that they set up for the season, which I'm blanking on his name, but you know the dude, the brain guy.
And considering how well made this show is and grounded despite the sci-fi aspect to it, I feel like season 3 thing will be Earth collapses and everyone is enslaved. That's the vibe I'm getting from 3.
They've kind of shown, and I think this is going to lead into it, but they've kind of shown the multiversal thing. So I'm not sure if it's going to be our world that collapses, but I would not doubt it. I think you're definitely correct.
There's no way humans can stand up to the Viltrumites.
I don't know, man. Alan the alien is very strong now. Invincible's getting stronger, and his baby brother is growing real fast. So who knows?
He got clapped so hard, bro, this week, and that's fine. But I mean,
you also have Alan, who's going into the space prison where I'm assuming Nolan's kept. So there's going to be at least 4 that can stand up.
If Nolan is still alive, easy.
So they kind of set it up that he would be, because they said like they don't believe in dishonorable death, so they would actually have him fully heal so that he can then stand trial by combat and die the honorable Viltrumite way. So he is alive from what they were saying earlier.
Okay, well, I hope it will be a good ally. That will be fun.
And it's fun to know that the Viltrumites can grow their teeth back, because I was wondering what happened when Invincible definitely lost a bunch of teeth in that first season, and apparently he can just grow them back like a shark. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Huge fan of the show for real. Like it's a big contrast to The Walking Dead. I hate The Walking Dead and I adore Invincible.
They're both Robert Kirkman comic books though, so it's interesting. It's one is definitely straying from the source material where the other one is staying pretty consistent. They've made little changes, like Amber was like this blonde girl,
Yeah.
but the rest of it's pretty consistent from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
They also changed the Viltrumite lady's appearance a little bit, like specifically her hair. It looks a lot more like Supergirl from the Flash movie. But like it's just little changes like that are the main thing. And then sorry, I forgot to mention the entire like hilarious bit where he goes to the con and they just talk about all the secrets in animation, like not actually showing the mouth to cut corners, to have people talk when their head is turned. Like that whole bit is just amazing. And then that's also different from the comic. In the comic book, they tell you a bunch of different ways that you can kind of cheat with comic panels, like using them again and stuff like that. And they changed it all to how you could do it with a cartoon. So that was amazing to me. I loved the writing there, and I thought all those jokes landed perfectly for me. But yeah, great episode. I'm looking forward to 8 so much.
Yeah, me too. Same here. Excited for that season finale. And it's also funny how it contrasts very well Resident Alien as well. Because like Invincible is consistent. Every week is a banger. While Resident Alien is the most uneven shit I've seen. Like there's an episode I hated.
Though. He's awesome.
Like, yeah, this I agree, but like there was an episode I hated, then an episode I adored, then another one I hated. That's like how I felt with season 3. So where are you at with season 2?
I still haven't seen a lot of it. I think I've got like 3 episodes left on 2. Yeah, I'm definitely not caught up on that one. But I did happen to see Ghostbusters a couple of times. I know Charles has seen Ghostbusters.
Yeah, this will be later down the line once he's back. So I suggest now.
Well, he said he'd be back any minute. So I don't know. I think one of us could start, and then he would be back by the time I finish this sentence. If I am. Oh, wait. Hey, this is pretty amazing.
Oh, my God. I just like how Gray was saying until he was back, and then Charles immediately comes back and is like, Gray.
That was planned from the start.
I just know that Charles has definitely seen Ghostbusters, but I'm not sure if he has seen a lot of the other ones. So I don't want to keep him here if he doesn't want to be.
I got nowhere to be. Wipe to sleep. Fucking.
Nice.
I just marked down something there.
It's Invincible.
Me saying
okay. Deal.
That's the wrong chat. Anyway, Charles.
Yo.
What's your experience with Ghostbusters as a franchise?
I enjoyed the original, but I'm not like, let me go out and buy all the merch for the original and all the stuff that came with it. I'm an enthusiast.
So you didn't get the popcorn bucket?
No, they don't have that over here.
They've got like 2 cool ones. One's Slimer, then the other one's this cool trap that's just like open.
The trap looks awesome.
Kind of wanted the trap one.
I certainly could put it to use, that's for certain. But they don't have those here. Either I'll gladly take. But I never really thought that it was something that was on the level of Star Wars. But I enjoyed the original. The second one I thought I enjoyed a bit less than the original, and 2016 just felt forced for so many different reasons. And it wasn't about the women; it was just they're quality comedians. It's just you got to have some form of script there, and it just felt like they were riffing the entire time.
They were. But it's Paul Feig's kind of style is just let the actors kind of improv.
Did they do that for Bridesmaids?
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not an episode of The Office. It's a major motion picture, but that's at the bottom of my list. And Afterlife was a nice touch, a nice little send off, but apparently not for the OG Ghostbusters. And I feel like Frozen Empire, considering that all I ingested was people really displeased and calling the movie woke, I was pleasantly surprised by the movie I watched. And maybe that helped me enjoy it more than if I saw it on opening night or something. And I'm still waiting for the lesbian scene. Still waiting.
Yeah, it's kind of my experience with it too. I heard it's super woke and gay, and it's like, oh, really? Okay. So I was waiting for that.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Wait, they said Frozen Empire is woke?
Yes.
And gay. Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, women can't do anything apparently, unless they're like
What?
unless they're Sigourney Weaver. Oddly enough, Sigourney Weaver from the Ghostbusters franchise.
I'm
Yeah,
so
another strong
glad I
female.
stopped watching that part of the internet.
You don't have to stop watching that part of the internet. It's way over.
But I'm baffled. How is it woke?
Dude, it's
Well, you see, there's diverse cast. You've got someone from the UK. You know, you've got an African American chick, an Asian kid, Kumail. I think he's Indian.
Johnny,
Yeah,
Pakistani,
right,
I think.
totally. So I don't know. You've got like a diverse group of characters now. I'm guessing that's part of the wokeness, and then you know, the whatever relationship you want to call it between the daughter and the ghost girl. They're calling that apparently a lesbian relationship, which I guess I could see the interpretation of. But yeah,
Sure.
I think that's where the woke and gay comes from.
But it's a ghost with a human.
Yeah.
And
True.
ghosts show themselves. This is fiction.
And they don't even like kiss or anything. Like I could see some people drawing weird parallels, but like maybe it's just genuine friendship. But
Nope, can't be. Girl and ghost girl cannot be just friends.
that's weird.
Yeah.
My
it's a
novels.
conservative message underlying underneath the movie because it's small business owners who are dealing with restrictions, like age. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go.
No.
It's just I'm baffled. Like if this is woke, then my novel is woke because I have a lesbian in it.
Stop being woke.
It's wrong being woke.
Well, your
I'm
definition of
shocked.
woke. Your
I'm-
definition of woke.
I'm shocked. For real, I don't understand this world. So yeah, what did you think of Frozen Empire, Charles?
I enjoyed it. It's higher up in my ranking of the entire franchise than I expected it to be going in, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. So my notes aren't as detailed as usual because I've seen it in theaters, like probably both of you as well. So I will let Gray go second on that one. What did you think of Frozen Empire?
That was a curveball, sir. I was not expecting to be handed the torch right there. Fair enough. So I had a slightly different experience than Charles.
Uh-oh.
I ended up seeing it a couple times. I've got issues with it, but there's parts of it that are really great. To me, I really wish, and I guess I say this a lot now, but I wish this was given a whole season. It's got enough plot points that I think none of them are given quite the care and the detail that they really kind of deserve. So instead, it just comes off like it's really rushed. And there's way too many elements for me in just one film here. I think you could lop off a whole bunch of them and you'd get the exact same thing. Like the whole library scene where they go there, there's like the record, the possessor, you know, takes the bag and gets out of there. Then like the whole lion thing, a lot of that is member berries. And I guess they do give you some of the backstory, but I'd argue like you could have just given that to Ray. He could have just looked it up online. But what happens there, like if you take that entire chunk out of it, everything in the thing would still work. Instead, they're just not worried about that wax cylinder. And instead, he's just more worried of getting somebody to say the words. There's a bunch of scenes that are kind of like that. The whole Slimer thing with Wolf. Now I can't remember Finn Wolfhard.
Finn hard.
Yeah, like that whole scene, like it doesn't lead to anything. I guess the only thing is, the pizza with the possessor gets eaten. So I guess that's the payoff of that entire thing. There's that James Acaster guy. He plays the British one who touches the thing. So his whole thing at the end of it, he just sees that slime spitting one, and then suddenly he gets slimed and he's just gone for like the next 30 minutes. Like you don't see him again. There's just a bunch of things that could totally be cut and they wouldn't change anything in this. Even the old Ghostbusters being there, like I don't think they needed to be there in the finale. If you cut that, it would play the same. So I don't know. I think you could have given each of those beats so much more if we did have like an episode dedicated to them, and then each character would get its own arc. But as is for me, it felt like there was too much thrown into it. I don't get, so I love the absolute opening part of it. The old timey firemen going into like that creepy thing. Like that was awesome. I love that. And then they kind of go into this chase that's just like the one from Afterlife. I didn't necessarily hate the chase, but it didn't seem like it was anything really new. And they're just destroying the entire city, like just destroying, shooting plasma or proton beams through people's windows, just destroying buildings.
Isn't that a necessity so that the mayor, which is packed,
ironically, has to yell at them?
Yeah.
For sure. To me, it seems a little strange. Like maybe this dragon is so powerful or something that they can't just stop it with a beam, but there's only one of them trying and it's not holding it still at all. So they're just destroying the city. I feel like that could have been a little bit better. And then, it's called Ghostbusters, but that is really the only ghost that we see busted in this thing, except for there might be one off screen when they do a mission without McKenna Grace, where she's left behind. They might have busted a ghost at that point, but it's off screen.
Ghost I wish initiative with
yeah, and then they get sent to bust the lesbian ghost, but they do not bust her. Yeah, I don't know. It is, so I understand like this movie isn't meant for me. They're trying to go with a younger audience, and it makes a lot more sense. I watched this thing where the creator, the director, and writer who co-wrote it with Jason Reitman. So Gil Kennan was saying that what they're trying to do is make this like a season of the real Ghostbusters, which was the cartoon that was like kind of based on it, but it was more kids oriented. Looking at that, I can totally see that they're going for that here. They kind of changed the humor. Like if you remember in the original one, like the most famous line is like yes, it's true. And then they go, pretty hard with the quote, this man has no dick. But in this one, they keep cutting away from that. It is a more family-friendly humor. Like they do it specifically twice with McKenna Grace's character, where they're like, don't say it. And then it immediately cuts to afterwards. And it's like, I can't believe she said that. So like, they're just not showing you like what the impact of the word is. Same thing when she's talking to the mayor. I can't remember exactly what it was, but then it was, I can't believe she said that to the mayor. But we don't get to see like what she actually said or whatever. I think that humor has completely changed, but if you're looking at it like the cartoon for kids, like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Just that first one is just such a wacky offbeat, like, I don't know. I feel like as a kid, I loved it because it didn't feel like it was meant for me. Where as an adult, I'm not necessarily loving this, where I do feel like it's not meant for me. So I don't know. I guess I miss that old tone, but I understand why they're going with the more family-friendly tone. And I guess what they're trying to do with this one is set it up for the next one, which now all the ghosts are out of the containment unit. So now they're actually going to deal with the ghosts. So that does kind of clear up one thing for me. But again, I just wish it was a series because, like, okay, that's going to be an awesome, like, season 2. Like, I want to see season 2 of that. But yeah, for me, there's a lot of hits, a lot of misses in this. It feels like there's a lot of nostalgic things that they're throwing in for no reason. We don't necessarily need them. But there's a lot of really cool nostalgic things in this. Like I do love pretty much both of the Bill Murray scenes. And yeah, I know like in my audience, they were just cracking up on both of them. They enjoyed seeing, Kumail wear the helmet and then also what his tall, dark, and horny line. Like that was pretty great. And I like the liquid booze, the liquid courage thing before as well. It is really weird. Like he goes into the fire station, drinks some booze, and then it's really dark outside, so he decides to put on sunglasses for some reason. But I don't know. It's Bill Murray, so it works out for me. My other like huge gripe is I guess the brass. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a nerd, but you can't melt brass. It's 1710 degrees in order to melt brass. You're not going to do that on a stove with cast iron. You need some sort of forge. But whatever. Okay, she's able to do that. My other problem is immediately after she cuts up the pole, you see Kumail come down one pole, and then you see Paul Rudd come down another. How many poles do they have in this thing? Which one is the one that they cut? Like, I don't know. It makes me wonder if they filmed it out of order or what, but the continuity is just not there for me, that they stole the brass from the pole, then they immediately used the poles. My bad. But yeah, maybe I'm just being an ass on this. But yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I think this is my third favorite Ghostbusters film. To me, it works a little bit more than Afterlife. I felt really weird with kind of what they're doing to Harold Ramis in that one. With this, it just felt like they're kind of doing the nostalgia thing, but with the actors that are still around, it doesn't give me that weird feeling. So I don't know. For me, this comes right behind Ghostbusters 1 and 2. But it's not a perfect film, but it's a decent film. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I think it's got a lot going for it, perhaps too much. And yeah, that's kind of where I'll leave it.
I thought I liked it a lot.
Of course.
It was my second favorite movie in the franchise, with Afterlife being my favorite. But
Don't help me. I don't want to agree with you on things, and that kind of just disarms me.
It feels weird, right?
And the sad part is I don't think it's the second best one. It's actually the second worst one, with only 2016 being worse. But like, I don't think it's as good as the others. It's not awful, definitely, but it's not as good as the others. But that's my second personal favorite. So I know that sounds like it contradicts itself.
Wait,
but
it's the second worst, but it's your second favorite?
Yeah, like in the movie lineup, I think the best one is
everything else tied for second?
Yeah, I don't. Am I having a stroke?
So there's 5 movies,
right?
So there's Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters 2016, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and now Ghostbusters
you're right.
Frozen Empire.
That's the 5th one. You're right. I suck at maths. So the best Ghostbusters, in my opinion, is the first one.
Oh.
But it's not my favorite. I liked Afterlife more, but I think Afterlife is more like in third place, because the second Ghostbusters is the second best one. But that one as well, I didn't like it as much as Afterlife.
Gesundheit.
I do not understand your rating systems, but bless you.
Enjoyment.
To a certain degree, I understand that. Like Con Air, I'll watch more than I'll watch Godfather 2. I'm not saying Godfather 2 is a better movie than Con Air, but I have more fun watching Con Air.
Exactly.
So I sort of get that. I get that. But
I mean, Cameron Poe.
I had more fun watching Afterlife and the Frozen Empire over any other movies in the franchise. That's why they're like my 2 favorites. But
watching older stuff, man, I don't know how to help you. I'm trying. Afterlife is your most fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Fun.
I liked it. That's my favorite.
Okay.
I still enjoyed the first 2. It's 2 good movies that I liked. I just liked Afterlife and Frozen Empire more.
So you're the target audience that Gray is trying to figure out who this movie is for.
Probably.
I mean,
I assume. I guess.
I mean, given that this is multi, we're talking about, it's for him. This movie is probably for adults, and
I hated Godfather, yet I still think these are good movies. So.
That literally makes no sense.
My head hurts.
Yeah. I think It literally makes no sense. How can you like something that you generally hate that's not even a guilty pleasure?
Wait, you think that Walking Dead has too many characters, but Frozen Empire? Yeah, never mind. Just
So
Yeah, it's like he was saying
so that goes
Walking
to
Dead
my
has-
issues. Because again, I don't think it's the best movie in the franchise. I think it's right above 2016. It's far better, but it's still above 2016 in terms of like quality. But I still have issues. So my first issue would be plot convenience, the building generator not being good enough to contain the ghost when there's a power outage. What's the point of the generator? Like, isn't a generator supposed to kick in when you're out of like energy?
So you,
Uh,
do you
there's
understand
things-
that was paranormal influenced, right?
Yeah,
Like that would
yeah.
have influenced the generator as well.
Yeah. Plus, there's a thing
Yeah.
called power outage. Multi. If you
Yeah, but usually a generator should kick in when there's a power outage. That's the point of a generator.
Except for when a lesser god like affects the power in a perimeter around the ball that it's entrapped in. But fair enough. Perhaps the generator could have been better.
Yeah, it could have been. Next up would be the stepfather character arc in Phoebe. Despite him changing as a character, it didn't feel earned when Phoebe accepts him as her father. One of the two times that could have supported the character progression of Phoebe was when Phoebe was in the lab and the stepfather was talking to a door, thinking Phoebe was on the other side. If Phoebe was witness to that scene, she would have had several moments where her stepdad, accept. Well, she would accept her stepdad as a stepdad and such.
I really disagree with that. That's the comedic beat, and it's like the classic trope of, the kid left through the window, but you're talking to them through their closed door because, they're just being silent to you. I don't know, man. I think that was like perfect, charming Paul Rudd moment, and you can see how much he wants to be accepted as the father. I don't think that was the moment that's supposed to show that he is the father. It shows how much he wants it. But
yeah, what about when he
fair
fakes that the backpack is it's broken and he asks her for her help to show her that she's needed?
Yeah. Well, again, I said it. I think he deserves it, and I think
Deserves
I
it, but it's
think-
unearned.
yeah,
I think he
exactly.
earned
Like,
it, man. That rang authentic to me. I think it didn't get
It's more
necessarily
like
the time
Phoebe-
devoted to
Phoebe-
it that it should have because there's too much in there. But
it's
fair enough.
It's like Phoebe. I just don't get it. How one scene in the movie would have like supported. Oh, now Phoebe accept him as her father. It's just
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that what you were
takes
just
time,
calling
yeah.
for? Like if you had that one scene added, like if she was just behind the
that
door,
would have
then
been
that
like
would have
two
been-
two moments, like Charles said, when he asked for her help.
There's
But that's
so
And
many
then
other
that other
moments
scene.
too. He's like supporting her when
Yeah.
she says like, we need to get the brass for this. I think he's the one that supports her, and isn't he helping her cut the pole, if I remember right? Or maybe
I can't remember.
now I'm
I've
blanking as
seen
to
it,
who
like,
helped her, but
the
he
weekend
definitely
it-
was
it came out.
supportive of her ideas and
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's more than just one scene, but fair enough. To each their own. If it doesn't feel earned, yeah. Each plot point doesn't get like the time devoted to it that it feels like it needs. This is still, what is it, like 88 minutes in the end or something like that?
oh wow, is it that short?
Now I feel like I
no,
might have
it's
said
more
too-
than this. It's almost 2 hours. It's like
Okay.
1 hour and like 55 minutes, I think.
That's
You're right.
150
It's
minutes.
155.
Yeah.
Yep. So fair enough. I don't know. There's a lot of plot points that are going in here for 2 hours.
The mayor character was poorly written. It was just a trope and roadblock for the family, making him a really bad character that doesn't really go through a character arc since he's reluctant to accept Ghostbusters, and the only reason he had to do so was image and the people liking Ghostbusters. So it's not him like being
So- Does every character in a story need to have an arc? Like, can they not just be like
when
that's
there's
the
a big
reason why
focus on
something
them,
happens?
yes. When
There's
there's
not
a big focus
on him though.
He's in 2 scenes though. Like
3.
the first one is
He's there for
pretty sure, isn't it
obstruction
2?
purposes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so the first
just
one is
there
to
to
say
roleplay.
that child labor laws, and then he's there at the end to say like this is the end. And like, oh, you're right, I forgot they take away the packs, so he is like in that scene, but that's not really focused on him. So you do understand that like he is a callback to the first film. He is that same pack from the first one. He is dickless.
But there is an arc for him because he tries to contain them, and he realizes that by the movie's end, he realizes that the city needs them, even if it's
Does he really
supporting them over?
Does he really?
The city is
realize
supporting
that?
them, but instead of him.
Yeah.
If he wants to remain as the mayor, he needs to support them. He does learn that arc by the end. But also, he starts from holding the grudge for decades against these guys who he thinks are charlatans who cost him his previous job.
Right.
Okay, so guys sold me on that. I will actually.
Do you understand why, though? Do you understand why not being sold on an argument?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like. I feel like I'm a substitute right now.
So. I don't know. Like there are other characters in here. Like Janine is in here. So I don't think that character has an arc in here. There's the librarian from the first one who's like, "You guys are not allowed in here." He's
that
in there.
goes
I don't
to
think
my
he has
next.
an arc.
That goes to my next issue.
So how big of a character would you have to be to warrant an arc? Like, could there not just be characters that propel along some event in the story, but don't necessarily have an arc?
Yeah, they could have a purpose without needing an arc.
I like arcs. So if you got a bunch of character, but they don't really have an arc, that's.
But you're gonna take off 0.5 every time there's a character that doesn't have an arc in a movie.
Not always. Now the next issue is like there's a bunch of characters that don't have an arc.
Hold on. When you watch Walking Dead and there's zombies, what is their arc? The zombie. Every particular zombie, what is their arc?
They're just there to be a roadblock and to be The Walking Dead.
So you could see that they're roadblocks. They're just there for The Walking Dead.
They're just there for the action. That's the point of the show.
All right. So they're not actually characters. They're just things.
Yeah. It's like...
so what happens? What happens when one member of the cast dies and becomes a zombie? What is their arc then? Because we've seen them as alive.
They died. Their arc ended when they died.
Okay.
Even if they become a zombie, their arc ended when they died.
I don't know why I went to film school. You've nailed it. You totally nailed it. I'm just I'm just playing around. I'm sorry.
Day of the Dead. There is no arc there. Just dead.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Come on, come back.
No, unblur yourself, sir.
Malty, I'm just playing.
I know. That's why I'm laughing, man. But yeah, that's my next issue. So most of the characters don't really get any character arc. They are either plot device or glorified cameos. The cast was basically too big than it needed to be. So that was an issue for me. But yeah, the mayor, I'm kind of convinced. So I guess guys gave back a 0.5 to the movie, but it's still like I'd say the second weakest movie in the bunch. Now I will kind of say why it's my favorite. I like the action and CGI. I like the acting, the lore and music. Most of the humor works well. It didn't make my eyes roll, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie, and I wish I could say more, but that movie is just like 2 weeks ago, so I can't remember.
Plus, you're ingesting seasons of shows in a week.
Well, I liked it. I genuinely liked it, and I think I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yeah, just like Afterlife, but I'd say Afterlife was better, and I liked Afterlife more. What about you, Dre?
So it was going to be 8.5 because of the mayor, but now it's a 9.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect movie for me by any means. I think I'd go like a 6.5 on it. It is more good than bad for me. I enjoy it. I'm more looking at what it's setting up to be the next movie. I think that one could be really fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. Not perfect. What did you think about it, Charles? What would you rate it at? Oh wait, you already did rate it out of 10.
So it converts to a 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay. That's very good. So I'm not that crazy.
I don't disagree with. Yeah, I don't disagree with you guys for the most part. But great is something that you were talking about. Wouldn't you rather want more from a movie than not want anything from it? I mean, leaving you wanting more.
So I think where I'm at is I want a little less from this movie.
I don't disagree with you.
I think that's why. So I like what it's setting up. The whole like Ghost Corps. I think it's Ghost Corps is what they're calling it, the production studio, but it is going to be what they're going forward with. And I guess they are going to treat it more like a season of the real Ghostbusters, and it is going to deal with, now all the ghosts from the containment unit are out. So I don't know, that sounds like it could be fun. Like we're actually going to be busting ghosts, and I'm guessing the younger ones are going to kind of be leading the team, which I'm looking forward to. Just, I don't know. It just felt like there was too much in this one. So you're right. I think a film should leave you wanting more. And I think this left me wanting just a little bit less in this particular film.
Yeah.
But I do want to see where it's going to go from here.
Those three things that I brought up yesterday, the family dynamic with Paul Rudd and them, I really feel like the fact that they focused on that is a positive. Like we're getting attached to people that aren't the original Ghostbusters, which is a step in the right direction. The dynamic between the girl and the lesbian ghost, neat. So this is the second time, I think you brought this up yesterday, Gray. The second time that she's had some sort of relationship with ghosts, so she could be, that could be her thing, moving forward. Phoebe, that is, and like expanding on the tech and having this completely different, Geek Squad division of Ghostbusters. It's expanding the lore and all of that I'm excited for. But you're right. The mini Stay Puft things, why still? And apparently there's a post-credit scene with them, and it's just like, stop. Just how about stop with those? No more.
Wait, there's a post-credit scene?
They're in a truck or something.
They take over a semi, I believe you guys call it, a semi-truck.
Wow.
A lorry?
That's surprising.
Yeah, it's like that. And yes, Slimer, yeah, you could have him in the movie without just completely making Wolf Finhard just completely pointless, because it's just like extra garbage. And I liked Patton Oswalt for I enjoy his comedy, first of all, but I don't know, make him a bit more valuable and just things, trim the fat, if you will.
Yeah, and I think you could even still have him in it, and you wouldn't necessarily even have to have him in the library setting. Just have him come to the podcast as like a guest or something. He could still give you the backstory. But fair enough, member berries.
Yeah.
I like all this stuff. I just wish any one of it got like kind of the time and focus it deserved. I think they all could have been better scenes, but it's like a breakneck pace because we're just going from one thing to the next.
I don't disagree with that. I like the three things that have me kind of fired up for the future are like, all right, expand on that and get rid of some of the other shit, because listen, do you want to keep going, or do you just want to show us the same shit over and over again?
I feel you, man.
Of course you do.
But yeah, it didn't turn me off of the franchise like the Ghostbusters 2016 unfortunately did. I didn't want to see the next one of that. But this, I would like to see where they're going to go. I hope they rely less on the classics and kind of just go to this new team. I think they'd be much better.
Have you heard the take that somebody either thinks or wants that there's a possibility that the 2016 crew could live in this like multiverse?
Yeah, I've kind of heard that too. I hope not. I don't hate any of them, but just like the way that they paced that was, again, it was like they were improvising each scene, where like if you look back at that first one, it's just it's so fast. I don't know. They didn't take time to just really meander through each dialogue thing. Like, I don't know. Sorry, I just saw Cole's comment. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I had a lot more reverence for this franchise before they started kind of keep going back to it. I do look at it a little bit differently, but I guess it's not aimed at me right now.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think
fair
I'm
enough.
attached to it either. So, like, all right,
Mhm.
what do you got?
I'm the catch.
They should stop making Ghostbusters. That would be great. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
sad. I want more. I like these last two we got.
Multi like the two most recent ones best.
Well, they're modern films. He enjoys modern film.
Yeah.
Shot on
Yeah.
film? No. Digital all the way.
Hell yeah. So
Did
I
Alligator
get-
Lives Matter see it?
huh?
Did you see
No,
Ghostbusters?
I don't think so.
no, I
Have
did
you?
not see it. Yeah, that's why I've been a little bit more limited. But yeah,
You're probably the target audience too.
Yeah,
I think you
but
might like it. You like
wasn't a fan of the first
Fridge
one.
Indiana Jones, so maybe you'll like this.
I mean, just because I like Indiana Jones films, I really, does not mean I'm gonna enjoy Ghostbusters. I mean, you want to see how many kids films, including live action, that I hate.
I wouldn't call it a kids film. I just feel like it's trying to play to a lot of different audiences in the same movie, which is conflicting in itself. Like you're neutering things for the mid teenagers, fine, but then in the same movie you have older teenagers making sex jokes, and it's like, well, why not just do this all the way around? I mean,
Yeah, there is the whole sex dungeon turn in it.
yeah,
I
It
mean,
is
a couple of things
interesting.
she says.
That one was actually weird. I thought that was a iffy one.
But they're cool with that, but then they censor her apparently swearing at her parents or telling the mayor to whatever she said to him. So it is kind of interesting. But yeah, they made choices in that one.
Yeah.
yeah, but Gray. I first called Gray Charles, and then I called Charles Gray.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with both of those. As long as you're not mixing us up with multi, I think we're okay.
So Charles,
Yo.
I prefer more adult content. Because I kind of enjoy those violent movies where you just have a guy torturing, let's just say, other people, and murderers and all that. So that's the kind of content I like.
So
Not
therapy.
Ghostbusters, who are meant for younger audiences. But I will admit, I will still watch SpongeBob. I have seen some clips recently, but yeah, like a few months ago.
Guy torching a bunch of people and SpongeBob.
That's DC taste.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Multi's taste, that's for sure.
Everybody's taste is their own.
Yeah, forgive me.
Anyhow, what is the next topic we may cover? Spider-Man or Thunderball? Yuri?
I'm kind of thinking of saving Spider-Man for last.
Okay. Thunderball.
Okay then. Yeah, Thunderball, the Bond one. Did you have thoughts on this one, Multi?
Hell yeah, I liked
Bond?
it so much. I think so far it's my second favorite Bond movie. I'm not done watching the one for next week. I'm almost done with it, but so far it's my second favorite. I liked it so much. So I guess I will start on that one. I will just pull out my notes. Okay. I only had two issues with that one. Number one, the henchman can aim on the jetpack scene, so that's quite early in the movie. Next up would be plot armor on James. They didn't delete him when they trapped him in the hotel room after they tried to delete him with the sharks. I felt like he had huge plot armor on that sequence, but yeah. Outside of that, I enjoyed that movie a lot. The action, the music, all of the underwater action sequence were the best part of that movie. I thought that was very creative, and that's probably
Wow.
the best action piece we had so far in the franchise. So yeah, I really enjoyed how they kind of tried new things with that one. It felt very different. So yeah, I the music very iconic. Um, what else? James one liner. I will repeat myself, but James one liner are just like golden every time. Um, Outside of that, um, I don't have much more to say. What did you think of Thunderball?
Well, I gotta be honest. So I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I remember really liking it. I did not have the same experience with it this time. So it is the follow up to Goldfinger. Goldfinger is just universally kind of known as peak Sean Connery. When they released that one, they had to play it 24 hours a day in the theaters. There was just that much demand. So it was just going round the clock. This did not receive quite the same reception in theaters. It was actually quite divisive, even in like contemporary reviews of the time. They were basically saying like it's really good up until the underwater part, and then it just drags. So with this one, they went back to the director who did Dr. No, so the first one, and he's changed a little bit, but the way that he kind of you can see a difference in directing style between like Goldfinger and this one, and then the dude who did Goldfinger comes back, I think, for the next one. We'll talk about it when we talk about the next one, but yeah. So Terrence Young directed this one, and he is the dude who did Dr. No. He seems to have more of a trying to kind of capture the landscape and have that more of a and like an actual character. It seems like where in Goldfinger and the other ones that director does, it kind of just is the way that he frames the shot. It shows the scenery, but it's not like supposed to be the character. Where really Terrence Young kind of saw it as, you know, these are destination movies, so we've really got to show these the landscape. We've got to show the scenery in which this takes place, and he does that a lot with the underwater shots as well. If I remember right, he is the dude who did I think he did Creature from the Black Lagoon, if I remember right. So like, or if not, then I believe it was the director of photography who was on that one. But they were really interested in the underwater shots, and they really thought that they had kind of this, I don't know, innovative way of doing it. It works for some. To me, it really kind of turned me off. So this is the same director who did Dr. No and From Russia with Love. He's done a few of the Bond films, and to me, they're a little bit slower. I like more of the pacing of the Goldfinger ones, but they did a lot of things right in this. I love the Thunderball song. The opening to this is just amazing. We finally get Bond in widescreen, and they had to redo the opening shot of Down the Barrel because now that it's in widescreen, you could actually see the face of the actor who's doing that. So they couldn't use the stuntman anymore. They had to actually use Sean Connery for it. That's awesome. There's a bunch of really good things in this. Same thing with the whole opening, the visuals that's going on for the Thunderball song. It's amazing. Like they really do kind of have that formula down. I like seeing Bond in some of these different locations. I like seeing him in kind of it's odd seeing him in sandals and shorts, but at the same time, it's still Bond. You know, I dig a lot of the Sean Connery parts of this. I dig a lot of the I don't know, like he meets Q on location and he kind of goes through the gadgets, but it seems like he doesn't quite have that same relationship where he's like mocking Q and they're kind of going back and forth, where he kind of did have that in Goldfinger. He's going to have that in kind of upcoming movies. A little of his interpersonal relationships seem different in this one. And then the gadgets even seem a little weird. Like they tell him that he has a Geiger counter watch, but this camera just shoots a burst of photos, and then when he gives the camera to what's her name, Honey, instead of saying that same thing, he said, here's a camera that's a Geiger counter. So either it got upgraded since Q gave it to him, or he just like mistook that, or they changed it. Either way, it seems like a weird inconsistency. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun when you see the bad guy guild. You can see how he will not accept failure. Again, he's got different ways of kind of dispatching the failure in his organization so that, only the top will still remain inside this evil Spectre organization. There's parts of it that I really dig, and then there's some parts of it, for me, the underwater stuff, it really kind of drags. I do remember liking it from when I was a kid. And then just seeing it this time, I wanted the pacing to pick up. And then you get like the final scene where they're in the boat, and it's really bad front projection where you just kind of see everything out the front window of the boat, but it does not look anywhere near realistic. And then it seems to be ramped up in speed, so it looks just super fake as opposed to like the actual speed that they would have filmed it or whatever. To me, the end of it doesn't quite work, except for the fact that the Bond girl is the one Domino actually takes out, the dude, which sadly, he's kind of a forgettable evil villain. Largo, I couldn't even remember his name. I do like Adolfo Celli, who is the actor who's doing it. Sadly, they did the thing where they dubbed his lines again. They like doing that for the Bond villains for some reason. And he didn't have that bad of an accent. I do wish they had kind of kept his original voice. But yeah, it's just kind of it's a mixed bag for me. I do like the whole scene where he's kind of running through the parade and the carnival. That seems awesome. And then I do like how he kind of turns and what's her name? Fiona. I think he kind of turns and uses her as a human shield. I dig that. There's certain parts of it that really work for me. And there's certain parts that don't. Like, why do him and Domino have to be picked up in a weird boat by a plane and then like whisked off to nowhere, like at the end? It is weird. I really don't know why the plane has to like pick up their boat and then just drag them midair. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Usually you would assume that he's going to like, end up with the lady in the boat and make sweet, sweet love to her. But this one's different. They get whisked up into the air. So that's kind of interesting. But overall, it's kind of a mixed bag for me. It is kind of a letdown having it right after Goldfinger.
Yeah.
But,
Also, Gray, I'm kind of concerned as to why you watched this film as a child, of all things.
Oh, I watched all the Bond ones, man. It was how I bonded with my father. He loves Sean Connery, so he showed me like all of his films.
Oh.
But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like 2. I think I was probably like 10. But I consider that a child.
I almost thought you were like, oh, I watched these movies when I was like 30 years old, and what's going on with old guy? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first one does have the 3 blind mice. You know, it is designed for children.
I did watch most of the Pierce Brosnan movie as a child. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was watching these with my father, and my mother hated this, but hey, they are no longer together, difference of opinion.
Also, they used to play it on like cable when I was a kid. Like, I think it was like almost every weekend they'd have a Bond flick on like TBS or something. So it wasn't as weird. We keep having a guest and then losing them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's Bond guy,
weird.
and he's supposed.
It says disconnected. So right now, we should be able to add him. Is it working now?
Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Yeah.
Bond guy.
Yes,
Hello.
we can.
Okay.
There was something weird going on. Each time I would add you, they would kick you out. I don't know how and why. It would say like disconnected, like again. Again.
He's gone.
I don't know what's going on with that.
It seems to be. It's doing that when I try to turn on my camera.
Oh.
Maybe
I don't
don't
know.
try to turn
Awesome.
on your camera
That's,
this week then. Maybe that's or what you could do is leave StreamYard, click the link again, and
Yeah, I'll do that.
when you still That was
Well.
the weird tech moment. Looks like Charles was back for a second.
Well, then he saw how funky our tech got, and he had to get out of here. It makes sense. It scared me too.
Yeah.
I don't think Charles has seen Thunderball. From what I
I'm trying
remember.
to avoid the
the
spoilers.
blondes.
Yeah.
My bad. Well,
There's not much to spell, to be honest. I had a blast. I like it, but there's not that much to spell, you know.
Yeah.
I have
It's
to
fun.
watch.
You get to
I
see
do plan
the
on watching them.
you get to see the
You-
pretty
you
man
should
in
highly
pretty clothes.
recommend.
It's pretty great.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend. Like,
Pretty.
Bald Guy hates them, but I like them, and I think Gray likes some
Well-
of them. So
Technically, he didn't talk about Goldfinger. He unfortunately didn't join us last week, but I think that one's pretty universally loved. I think he might have dug that, but we'll see. Perhaps.
yeah,
I'm
we'll see
judging too much.
when his take issue is solved. But yeah, Thunderball, I liked it a lot.
Fair enough.
Um,
For me, the pacing was just a little bit slow. I think I'd give it like a 6 out of 10.
Mhm.
and for me, that would be a solid 9.5.
Wow.
There
I
you
just-
go.
And
There you
here
go.
Hey,
is
it's Alex.
Bald
Welcome,
Guy.
sir.
how
Great to
are
see
you,
you.
Bald Guy?
Good to see you.
Again, maybe by next season he'll remember your name, but right now he's just going to read whatever
Yeah.
you have down there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, and I like how you're having a cup of coffee. Coffee matters. Me and Gray and you are on
Yes.
the same category.
It does matter. I love coffee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you watch Goldfinger even if you didn't show up last week, or you didn't?
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
did. I did. I don't like it.
So
I
great.
gave too much faith. I thought maybe that would be the one that you'd like.
Nope.
So what did you think of Thunderball, Bald Guy?
Can you guess?
You didn't like it.
I don't like this. This franchise is not for me.
Yeah, fair point.
Just wait till you see next week's.
Yeah,
you're gonna
next
love
week
it.
is racist for so many levels and reasons.
If you
I don't
thought
think-
there were issues with the last one, this
Look,
next one has ninjas.
Look, I always have the same exact issues with so far, which with every single one of them. So I don't want to repeat myself all the time.
Well,
So I will do.
at least you have a reason, and you don't want to repeat yourself like multi. So at least you have a good reason.
Yeah. I mean, I will be fast, but yeah, for both of them, same thing. I am extremely bored by the character of James Bond. I think he's very, very much a blank slate that has no personality. And yeah,
I
I don't know.
mean,
Like,
Does multi have a personality?
I
Compared
more-
do. I have
Yes, he
the
does.
best movie take out there. You know, the best ones.
yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, yeah.
Doctor No and Thunderball are peak Bond. What did you think of the underwater battle sequence?
He probably
I mean-
did not go on.
No, I mean, like, look, these movies are well made. Like, I can't deny that they're well directed. And you know, the way they're directed is kind of classy, which I do appreciate. I appreciate that part of these. But if I'm bored to tears by the story and the characters, it's not gonna help. Like right now, I'm watching them like this, like I'm trying to engage with them. Like I don't like sit on my couch and assume I'm gonna hate it. I don't do that. I want to engage with them. I want to be immersed in the story and in the characters and in the action. But I never am. It's so boring. It's so boring.
Not even when like he knew that girl was not a girl and it was actually a guy, and he just had to punch him at the funeral.
That that was surprising, to say the least.
Yeah, it just kind of comes out of left field. But now you understand. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Austin Powers thing, but they
I get
were
it.
like really bringing in these movies into those.
You know,
But
I get
did
it.
you at least like the opening songs in both of these? I think
Yes.
the last two are amazing.
Yes, I do. I do. I like the music. I usually like the cinematography. I think the movies do look great. But to me, like and they're well directed, but the core of film is story and character, and for me, they don't have that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what would be your grade out of 10 for Thunderball?
Like I mean, like I don't know, like a 4 or 5, somewhere in that area.
And what
Fair enough.
about Goldfinger? The
Well-
one that everyone likes except you.
Same thing. Like again, like I can't really fault them. I just can't really get invested because I hate this goddamn character so much.
But he's got the one-liners. He shoots a dude with a harpoon and says he gets the point.
I don't know. For my shitty action one-liners, I'd rather go see Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. You know.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. It's hard to beat Stick Around when he throws the knife in the guy's chest.
Or kill someone with a drill and yell "screw you" at the same time.
Yeah, you got a point. But this is the road that led to there. You know,
Or-
you don't get Arnold without
or
that.
when he just goes around freezing people to death, and he's like, "What killed the dinosaurs?"
The guy saying,
Chilly here. It's chilly.
Yes.
Fair enough. He does it better. I will admit that.
Yeah.
So I kept Triple R last because I knew it
Yay.
would come a bit later.
Oh hell yeah!
So now we are starting officially Triple R.
Wasn't there an MCU movie first?
We kept it
I
last
think
for DC.
Alligator Lives Matter
Yeah.
wants to do that last
Yeah.
because
Oh,
yeah.
it's possibly his favorite movie ever
Yeah.
directed.
No.
Possibly.
I only
Possibly.
put
Wait.
it last. I only put it last because I thought. I mean, we didn't know when you were gonna arrive, Bones guys.
Yeah,
so
that's,
why.
that's
I was
why-
so
that's-
Yeah.
I wanted to arrive earlier, so I was on my bike, and because I had bought something off of Marketplace that I was gonna get, like at the other side of town, and so it's like a 45-minute bike drive just to get there, and then I get there, and the guy is like, yeah, I had to step out for like for like 30 minutes. Can you wait?
Oh, I
What?
hate it when they do
That's
that.
disgusting.
I've had that happen when I've like picked up guitars or parts so many times. That sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't just gonna like ride back 45 minutes home for nothing, so I waited, and I ended up waiting like 15 minutes more than he said. And
That
then
sucks. People are so
and then-
inconsiderate.
yeah, absolutely. And then I had to ride back home. So yeah, that's why I'm late.
Well, we're
Yeah,
glad you
that's
could
why-
join us. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's the first time Charles and Bald Guy are on the stream together, or maybe
Um,
No,
No.
they've
No?
met before,
Okay.
sir.
No, we met 2
Again,
weeks ago.
I know you don't
Okay.
know either of their names, but that's okay. Next season you'll remember their names, but they have met before.
They
3
have
seasons
before.
more.
Oh,
Hey, Charles,
Yeah.
did you
they
happen to
met
see the amazing movie RRR by any chance? No. Okay.
What year?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2022.
20.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah,
It is
highly recommend.
it is a masterpiece.
Mostly
Maybe not, but highly recommend nonetheless.
I don't know how to gauge any.
No, it is a masterpiece. It is, I think, my favorite like Bollywood-ish
Oh,
film.
okay.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like it's in partnership with, so it's not like straight up Bollywood, but man, it kind of rocked my world. I think it even got like an Oscar nod.
Well,
in
yeah,
2022.
it got it won an Oscar for best original song for Natu Natu.
That makes sense. It is one of my favorite dance numbers, if not my favorite. Definitely the favorite that I saw this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad that I made you guys discover this.
Yeah, well, I've heard about it prior. I just didn't really get the chance or time to see it, but I quite like it a lot. And after seeing the runtime before I was really watching it, I thought I would hate it because that was 3 hours. I was like,
And
dang,
because it
that-
was Indian and it had subtitles.
yeah,
It's 3 hours and 7 minutes. You're selling it short, sir.
I was like, I will hate this shit. And
Oh, it's
I,
great. Give me a second. I'm here. I can.
I started to watch it, and I was like, damn, I was dead wrong.
Yeah, it's a
Did you
masterpiece.
end up
Yeah,
watching it
yes,
in one
it's-
sitting, though,
it's,
Multi?
Huh?
Did you end up watching it in one sitting? Usually it takes you
Uh,
like multiple sittings for certain movies.
I will
Multi-city
be
movie.
honest here. I took breaks, but mainly
Wow.
to be
Wow, wow,
really composed and focused on what was going on, because 3 hours is still very long. But
Yeah.
like I took
I had a
breaks.
different
Like
experience, man. Like I didn't even realize so I didn't look at how long it was until after I was done. And then when I like kind of looked up a couple of behind the scenes things, somebody mentioned that it's like 3 hours. It's like, no way, that was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's like I looked it up and it's like, wow. So I don't know, man. It just totally engaged me and I could not look away for 3 hours. It was amazing.
I was engaged with it, but I still needed that small break, because 3 hour is quite a lot for me,
Well-
at least. But I watched it the same day, so it's just like took small breaks here and there and get back to it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I was shocked I liked it. So
Yeah,
right now I'm
it's
trying to
it's
find.
incredible. I mean, I can
I'm
go if you want.
Yeah,
while
go
you.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, again, this is now one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm very happy that I made you, at least a few of you, watch it. And I'm really happy that Multi liked it, because he doesn't like my suggestions usually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
so
always makes me feel weird if he does end up liking something that I
Yeah.
suggest. It's weird.
yeah.
But
Yeah, Multi's just faking it because, you know, he loves Gray. You know, he has a major crush and he plans to propose to Gray as his husband now, and has a
Aw.
What are you talking about, bro? Stop doing fan fiction. I'm trying to find a way to format my face. What are you talking about, man?
huh.
I found a way, but now I don't know how to get back.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me just talk
well,
about
one
this
second.
movie.
So, Multi, where your head is at, I know exactly what you're trying to do. The person who you want to highlight, you have to put them in the top left.
Oh, I see.
Like you can move us around if you click and drag. So top left always
Oh.
gets the highlight.
Oh,
okay, so
that's
so that's
cool.
he's probably just
That's
gonna
cool.
highlight me of all people.
Thank
not on
you,
camera.
thank you, Charles. Next time I think we'll go better than this time.
Well, just
But yeah, sorry, Charles.
You know how to-
Sorry.
yeah, I
Guy.
apologize, bald man. Excuse me.
Eventually he will learn your name, sir.
This is so discouraging. Talking to this man right there.
Oh God.
All right, now, yeah. So first thing I want to talk about a bit about RRR is that, the three letters stand for Rise, Roar, Revolt. But not only that, because this is an event. Like, you need to understand that. So India is like the biggest film system in the world. It is the biggest one.
Bollywood.
Yeah, I mean, not just Bollywood, like India in general, because Bollywood is one part of Indian cinema, and this is technically not Bollywood. RRR is technically Tollywood, because it's not in Hindi, it's in Telugu, which is one of the multiple dialects in India. And now, and that's why, like, a lot of the dialogue, even like the ones that are in Telugu, are dubbed. And they seem dubbed because they are, since like everybody speaks like a bunch of different dialects, you kind of don't have a choice. Some actors don't speak like all the dialect of others, so they speak their own language, and at the end you have to dub everything so that it makes sense. There's just in India, there's probably like 20 versions of this movie with different dubs.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's tons of different dialects, and so yeah. And the thing about this one is that this is like an epic of epic proportions in many ways. So first of all, the two main actors, these two are like the biggest action stars in India right now. And this is the first time they've ever been in a movie together. So this was like an event, for Indian cinema. It's like the first time we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone in the movie together. That's the equivalent of that, but in India. And
I almost thought it was going to be Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves in the same movie.
yeah, kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the two biggest stars of the moment reunited in the same movie, and this was for the first time. And they tried to do it before, but but the fact of the matter is, they tried, but they could not afford them both, not at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the first movie to ever be able to do that. So this has a huge budget. This is like the biggest budget in Indian cinema history. But there's one that topped it that's coming out this year, but that's another story. But yeah, when it came out, biggest budget of Indian cinema. And so the RRR stands for another thing. I'll explain. Now this is directed by a director named S.S. Rajamouli, who is also a superstar Indian director. Like he's directed incredible films. I highly recommend the Bahubali Part 1 and Part 2, who are his previous ones. And so RRR stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt, but it also stands for the names of the two main actors and the director. So Ram Rajamouli. Like this is that big of an event. Like these three people making a movie together, it's like something that's never been seen before. So the title stands votes for their name and Rise, Roar, Revolt. Now,
Have you seen the numbers for Godzilla X Kong? Because it's a pretty big deal. I'm just farting around. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that at some point. I don't want to. And
We will eventually we'll cover every King Kong and Godzilla thing. Eventually.
Wait, dude, you don't know what you're saying. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
really?
know-
There's
know
that
how-
many?
Do you know how many Godzilla movies there are? Just in
No.
Japan, not
I
counting
thought-
the American ones.
Toho ones,
I-
there's a lot.
I thought there were like 5.
No, there's 33. Just Godzilla movies.
But we
Mhm.
will actually we'll
Okay.
pass on every subtitles ones.
I mean, that's like
except minus one. Maybe minus one is the only one.
So no quality. You're just
No
gonna go
quality.
with the crappy American ones. We're gonna
Yeah.
start with
Yeah.
Broderick, and then we're gonna go from there. Great.
Yeah, I think
So
I think he's just saying that because he doesn't want to see subtitles because they're all made in Japan, and Japanese films have to have subtitles for us English dudes who do not understand Japanese
They
yet.
dubbed all those too. Like he could
Yeah, they
watch the
dubbed
dubbed
them.
version, but sorry, we've really stepped over
yeah.
your review, Alex.
But no, it's all good. But yeah, the American version of the first Godzilla movie ever is incredible because they put an American actor in it. They green screened an American actor in the movie for American audiences to be the protagonist, and it's
Totally forgot about that. It is
It's-
so jarring. It's
so
weird.
stupid. It's very shitty because he's never in the frame with anything. He's just him with a blurry background.
That sounds fun.
It's
Kinda like
fucking
Malcolm.
funny. Yes. So yeah, RR. So yeah, Rajamouli is basically a director that now one of my favorite directors. Having seen multiple of his films now. This is a guy who is basically the Indian version of Zack Snyder, but Zack Snyder if he was intelligent in his filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know. Like, this guy-
How dare you say Zack Snyder needs to be intelligent? He's a great filmmaker. How dare you?
He's a fucking idiot who doesn't understand anything, and you should listen to his interview with Joe Rogan to understand that
Yeah,
he
it
doesn't
was
know
enlightening.
Great filmmaker. Now I'm
he doesn't know anything about cinema. He doesn't know anything about film. Anyway, but yeah, Rajamouli is basically that, like the Indian version of Zack Snyder, but he's so good with like. So this man knows how to do iconization, right? He takes his characters and just the way they are framed, they look strong and epic and incredible. Like the way they introduce the characters in this, the two main guys. You know, like the first dude like takes on a fucking army by himself. Second guy like beats a bunch of jungle animals by himself. You know. And so, yeah, of course, the action scenes are incredible. They're so precise in their filmmaking, and they are very iconic. Like, shots of this movie are engraved in my mind just for the sheer coolness that they have. When they break the cage, and there's like that slow-mo shot of him like coming out the cage with the fire and like and like a bunch of tigers and like leopards next to him. Like those shots are insane, and he does that a bunch. And of course, like there's like these incredible action scenes. But this is why I love Indian cinema, is because it's a lot of things rolled into one. Like you have this incredible action movie, but you also have a musical that is an incredible musical. The music kicks ass, man, and it's
And
so
usually I
emotional.
would hate musicals, but here I
Not
kind of dig
true.
it. Well,
You
you're
love
right.
the Color Purple
Color,
musical.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's two musical I like, Triple R and The Color Purple. These
And
are
I
the
hate.
only two musical I could stand.
I'll make you discover some other ones. But yeah, anyway, the music is
Nice.
yeah, hell yeah, I have that one also.
This isn't even all of them.
No, that's 15 of them out of 30 something. Out of 33.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the music is incredible, and it always tells a story. Like contrary to that piece of shit movie that was the Color Purple remake. Um,
Monta is
in
probably gonna leave right now.
in RRR, the music actually serves a purpose. Like the songs tell stories about the characters and what they're going through. There's the main dance sequence like Natu Natu. That's like it's there not only to like well it evolves the relationship not only between the main guy and the girl he likes, but also his
The two main
relationship with his
guys.
friends.
Yeah, like there's so much in that
Yeah,
dance scene.
as well as shitting on on Great Britain for what they did to India. And there's the torture one where he like tries to hype himself up and sings while being tortured. That is just an insane sequence. He will fully like stir up a revolution by singing while being tortured. Because that's the thing. Like in most musicals, at least American ones, the singing, like it's kind of assumed that it takes place in the characters' heads, that it's not like in the world, but in Bollywood and old films, it is in the world. Like it is actually that. Like people around that are just walking are seeing this giant and choreography and these people singing, and they're like, "Yeah, that's just another day in India," you know? Yeah. But yeah, so here, like every single song adds something to the story and to the characters, and of course, it has killer music. By the way, I just want to say this: the the palace that they dance in front of for the Natu Natu sequence. They shot that in Ukraine. That
Yeah,
palace,
Kiev.
in
Wow.
Kiev. Yeah, that palace. It is the president's palace. It's the president of Ukraine's home.
Most likely before the war.
Yeah, well, yeah, of
That
course
was like
before the war.
No,
2021.
mid-war.
Of course before the war. But yeah, like with like knowing what's going on right now, it kind of adds a layer of symbolism with that song. Like like, hey, let's fight like the invaders, the people who took our country illegally, which is exactly what happened in India from Great Britain. So that adds like such a layer that it was shot in front of that palace. So yeah, that just makes the movie better. And I don't know, I just love the way like that friendship between those two guys, just develops. And
Yeah,
it is very touching and super well written and also very gay.
you're right.
It's
Diversity
it's
matter.
it's so gay though. Like come on, like the scene where they're like where they're riding around on the bike and the other one is has like his arms wrapped around the dude and they're like smiling. It's so gay, but but it's
Or when
hilarious
one
though.
one of them jump on the other and they have boo 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 boo.
Yes. By the way, what an incredible scene that action sequence is. And yes, and even like the way the movie is structured is kind of brilliant because like halfway through you get like a 45-minute flashback that recontextualizes everything you've seen before and makes it better. About one of the characters' dads. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I absolutely adore this movie, and of course, it's very political in nature because of its its main themes and topic, because it's really about the colonialism and stuff like that. It's very nationalistic for India, and like I'm not an expert in Indian politics or in Indian history. I do know that some people in India did criticize it because it was very much like pro-Indian government and shit. But I don't live in India. I don't care. I'm just seeing this really cool movie that's not only incredibly entertaining but has a lot of layers. And yeah, and then there's so much other stuff because like if you don't know the two guys, the two main characters, they were real people. Like they were real historical figures during the revolution. But the matter of the fact is, in the real history, they never met each other. But there is a period, like the same period of time, both of them, like there's no record of what they were doing for like 2 or 3 years. So Sister Jamali saw that and was like, "Hey, what if during that time they became best friends?" and then went to kick ass and went to kick the British Empire's ass. And so yeah, and of course all of the performances are insane. Like the two leads are so good. And I do want to shout out the two bad guys, the two British villains who are very very evil just because they are evil. Oh, sorry, there's someone at my door. I'll be right back, and you guys can keep going.
Okay.
Sure.
Great. Do you want to go second?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what he was saying. Like, I agree. The two actors who do play like the colonialists, the oppressors, Ray Stevenson does an amazing job, and I think it's Edward Sonnenblick who plays Edward. I thought
Guys,
both of those performances.
I gotta go. Sorry, I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, both of those actors really do make an amazing performance. Yeah, I'm so glad that Alex did kind of put this one forward. I had kind of seen the cover around and it looks epic, but I don't know. It's not exactly the movie that I normally would have clicked on by any means. And God, I am so glad that he kind of brought this forward and that I did watch this because damn, this is a really good movie. I didn't have the issue, not that it was really an issue for you, Multi, but this had me engaged from the beginning. Like I was gonna work out and just kind of have this playing and watch it while I was doing that, and instead I was just sitting there like totally engrossed in this. I think this is the best action flick I've seen in years. Just every aspect about it works on so many different levels. I love the fact that it just opens and gives the most badass intro to what we assume is going to be like the villain of the flick, and it just there is not a more epic introduction to a character. And then what we learn about this character throughout the entire narrative of this is just amazing. And it really makes you, like Alex was saying, just recontextualize all the information that you just had and understand that your assumptions were wrong. It is amazing. And you'd think this would be like a woke film or whatever that's like oppressors versus the oppressed, this revolution thing. It definitely in modern day could have been handled in such a way that would just be over the top in the wrong way. This is over the top in so much of the right way. I didn't realize these were based on real characters. I knew like the event was real, but I didn't realize that these were based off of like folk heroes. That's awesome. I did not realize that, but both of these actors are just so amazing, and they both get the most epic intros, but just the one for who we think is going to be the villain is just, I think that is like the perfect action scene in any movie. It is just so epic. I would recommend everybody just see that introduction to this character. You know everything you need to know, and I don't think there's any words spoken in the entire thing. I guess at the beginning there's a few words that set everything into motion, but other than that, it's 100% show don't tell. They just show everything you need to know about this character. And then later on, they show even more, and you realize that you didn't have the full picture of this. It is masterfully done. I don't think the actual title of the thing is till like 45 minutes into the movie. All of a sudden, you get the title of the film. I did not realize this was 3 hours and 7 minutes. It's so engaging and so engrossing. For an action flick, I was just glued to the screen. And yeah, if you'd told me that I was really going to dig a dance scene this year, I would have probably thought you were wrong. I would have thought maybe that was like a multi-take, but no. This is amazing. I think this could be my favorite dance scene that I've seen in a long ass time. And there's so much that happens in it to actually progress the story as well. It's not just superfluous dancing, like all of a sudden, we're just all cutting a rug. They are, but it's for a reason, and there's so much subtext going on, and just the looks between the characters. This is masterfully done. I can't recommend this enough. It is just amazing. And there's this behind the scenes thing where the director breaks down the Natu Natu dance scene, and it is just kind of amazing everything they went through to get that. And it is done at the presidential palace in Kyiv, which is just weird. Apparently, they didn't shut it down, so they just filmed like this huge crew there while they're going about their presidential business in the palace. But yeah, it is a beautiful location, and that whole scene is just epic, along with every other scene in this movie. Yeah, it all culminates to probably the most epic fight scene I've ever seen in the end of it. Not enough can be said about this. I think it's the perfect action movie. Yeah, there's some real bro love in this, but it didn't come off super gay to me. Just bros broing out, just holding each other while biking. It's cool. Sometimes we carry our bros around when they've danced too hard. It happens. But I absolutely love this film. I think it is damn near a perfect film. And again, I think the fact that I was engaged the entire time and didn't realize it was 3 hours and 7 minutes. It was amazing. It is kind of like 3 movies broken up. It does have different parts in it. And I guess it could have been additional films, but I really like what this is. It's just an experience. So that's true. No ghosts, so no gay. But I loved this film. And from what I understand, Multi thought it was okay. Oh, you changed it from good to great. Okay, we've upgraded your opinion.
Well, not exactly. It's just that I felt like good wasn't enough because I did like it a lot. So do you want to add more before I move on with my opinion?
Just the way that they shot everything, every one of these action scenes, every one of these American action movies that we've recently saw, like The Beekeeper. I'm trying to think of any of these other ones, any of the Fast and Furious ones. They need to see how they did the action movie, how they did the fight scenes in this. The cinematography is amazing. It's not the blurry cam and shaky where like, okay, maybe they connected. It looks very impactful. I really dig this film. I think there's a lot that could be learned from this. I'm sure it wasn't cheap. It definitely does not look it. Every set is just like amazing on this as well. The effects are a little over the top. You can definitely tell like when an entire, circus is released from the back of a truck. It doesn't look as real as it could, but it is an epic shot and I love it. I think the over the top effects kind of work in this, and I can't say enough about the end product. Multi, what was your experience with this one?
Even if I took breaks, I enjoyed it a lot. And that was a very fun movie, and it's funny how I thought for most of it, it had no issues. Most of my issue all come up by the end, like in the last like half an hour or so. So like if the movie was shorter or if less happened, maybe I would have less issues. Anyhow, I liked it so much, and I will go on a small tangent there. So the sequel of the novel I wrote already, and the sequel I'm already working on, is in a futuristic India that I created in my own universe, and there's some kind of dictatorship. So I see Triple R, I'm like, dang, there's parallel before I even like seeing the movie, and it's funny because this movie inspired me like to give a different flavor to what I wanted to do. So I'm like, wow, this movie is inspiring. I'm inspired by this movie. That's the best way
Yeah.
to put it. Um, Now I gotta say, as a side note, Zack Snyder should do his homework on how to make relevant and good slow mo by watching this movie. I said it.
I think it's the other way around. I think you
No,
need
no,
no.
no. DC, Zack Snyder pretends to be deep. He is not. He is shallow. No deep takes aren't enough.
Well, you haven't seen the Scar Giver yet.
um, Anyhow, again, so I'm wondering if DC will come back, or I ate it too much on one of his
What happened to Bald
director.
Guy?
He had someone coming in his place, so something happened, and he will come back. Maybe we'll see. Oh, looks like DC's back. You
For
cannot
now.
handle my Zack Snyder take.
I cannot take it.
You can only
yeah.
take so much wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm right on Zack Snyder. He needs to do his homework.
No,
Um,
no.
Now
Yours.
I gotta say, as another
Hmm.
side note or something, I hate subtitles. But again, I enjoyed that movie a lot. So I thought the music was really good, and I also thought if you can suspend disbelief,
Okay.
this movie has great fantasy, and the action is really well made, but it relies a lot on you being able to suspend disbelief. So it's not the kind of movie that everyone can get into, because if you cannot really suspend disbelief, then good luck with this movie. So like, I think of Jaded the fanboy. If he watches it, I can bet he will have a rant on that. Great. Have you met the Jaded fanboy in the past?
Oh yeah,
I know DC
I know
did.
the jaded one. Yeah, I don't know if he's into like '80s action movies. Like it's along those same lines, but better.
Good
Yeah.
description.
Yeah. To be honest,
But
I think Jade is lucky that he doesn't hear your bad takes mostly, because I bet if he heard
he agrees
all
with
of
me a
them,
lot, bro. He agrees with me a lot. Like when I was roasting Guardian of the Galaxy 2 and 3,
And 3?
I like 3, but there's a bunch of issues I had with 3.
Sounds like
in
an
terms of
ego issue.
in terms of enjoyment, 3 was probably my second favorite. The first one is my favorite, and I think is also the best. But the second one I'd rather forget it existed. I don't want to rewatch the second one, but we will in the retrospective. But damn, the second one was bad. But the third one, I had a few issues here and there. I still liked it a lot though. Anyway, yeah, Triple R really relies on you being able to suspend disbelief so much. Um, and yeah, if you can do this, then that's great. The music is really cool. There is a big dance scene I really enjoyed. And I'm not someone that's into musical usually, except if it's The Color Purple or this movie. These two are like the two musical I would
Whole
recommend.
episodes.
um, but yeah, the flashbacks were good, and each time there's full chaos, that was great. And one of my favorite action pieces in the movie was when there were a bunch of tiger and other animals running around. That was crazy. That was the best part of the movie. The end was also over the top. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I don't know what would be my favorite part. And even when the action was less chaotic, like in the flashbacks, that was good action. and the characters were entertaining. They were very likable. The love interest was a character I enjoyed. She was fun. What else? So I still have a few issues in the big action sequence by the end. I admit, in the big shootout in the end, nobody could aim, so it got under my skin. So that was really like in the forest when they were just like it was shooting fire arrows at people and like nobody could freaking aim except him. Okay, whatever. Next up would be plot convenience, just happening to bump into a random statue with random bow and arrows. Even if I like that action sequence with the
It
bow and
wasn't
arrow,
random. It was meant to be. So you're gonna give that a plot convenience, but not like the fact that a dude can hold back a tiger because he has a chain and he's strong enough.
that's suspension of disbelief there.
Okay, but not that like people would miss in the heat of a battle
No,
or
no.
the death.
Like there were like hundreds of people in these woods, and nobody can freaking aim except of the two protagonists, bro. Like everyone is like pew, 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 pew. And only like the two leads are able to like
Jesus.
strike a
Dude,
target
you have
or something.
way too much CinemaSins, brain.
Well,
Way
they
too
do
much.
explain why one of them is like an exceptional shot.
And
So
I
I don't know, man.
I don't even watch CinemaSin. I've heard of that name.
It sounds like a CinemaSins. I don't know.
I've never seen him in a video of him. I know who he
Yeah, but,
is
like,
because I've heard of him, but
Somebody doesn't aim. Like,
it's not someone. It's many people. It's like an army not being able to aim. It's like, are you kidding me, bro? And that's in the big climax.
but you're watching fiction. You know the term suspension of disbelief. When
Yeah.
you watch films, you should have suspension of disbelief.
A bit
Yeah.
too
You're
far
not
there.
watching documentaries.
It's a bit too far there.
Watch the clip of the police officer with the acorn. Tell me how many shots he hit somebody with. I think it's over 24.
I just like I just like how you didn't even answer Charles. Like, to be honest, you win, Charles. So
What?
I'm just saying how Multi just didn't answer your question. Basically, making it clear that you won. So yeah.
Wait, what? No, I don't. What?
I don't. I don't know.
One. I'm trying to. No.
He's
One.
trying to figure out how I think and how yeah.
I wasn't. What? Win?
I don't know, DC. Next up would be we don't see the archer grabbing arrows on corpse, yet he shoots like there's no tomorrow and he's got unlimited arrow. I swear he stroked down like 50 guys with that damn crossbow, but I can swear he didn't add 50 arrows.
It was not a crossbow. It was just a regular bow.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, I swear, like for at least 5 minutes, the scene is cool. I like it, but like, no, he doesn't have like 50 arrows. He doesn't. I'm sorry.
Can
he
I
doesn't.
can I ask you? Like, these feel like a bit nitpicky of an action flick to me. So we kind of went over like the percentage accuracy that like cops are, like the trained professionals are like down in the 20%. When I'm looking up data on like any sort of soldiers or anything like that, there's no way that they're going to be nearly as accurate as they are like in training or anything like that. And the first few battles, they're extremely inaccurate. I don't know. Do you think this is one of the first battles that they've had at the palace? Like, do you think these are super experienced soldiers, or do you think like, hey, this being the first battle would kind of rattle many people, and this is possibly the first time they're actually using live rounds on people?
They are shown, that military is shown as being able to like as having like a lot of action going on. Like they don't seem like they stay at the base. Like they seem like in the middle of the action a lot, because in this movie most of the action does involve them. So I don't know. I'd say they
I
are
think
somewhat experienced because
if you're able
there's
to like
always
suspend your
someone going on.
disbelief that a dude with just his pure muscles alone can hold back a tiger with a chain, I don't know, to think that these guys are just such battle hardened like killers that they would be perfectly accurate, and you losing half a point because they've missed a few times. I don't know. It feels a little inconsistent to me, but fair enough.
It's consistent for me.
Um,
And to go back to the arrow thing, I had a similar issue on another movie, Wakanda Forever. Like there was an action sequence where the girl has like 30 bullets in her pistol. It's like she doesn't reload at any time. So when I see that arrow sequence, I get the same kind of vibes where, oh, it's unlimited ammo. Bam, 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 bam.
Okay, so one thing that I was able to find, there was a 56-day siege in Musa Kuala, and they expended hundreds of thousands of rounds. They worked a quarter of the British Army's total ammunition for the year in this one battle. The confirmed dead were 200 at the end of this 56 days. I think your accuracy percentage that you want is a bit high, sir.
You know what? Just because you did the research, that's good effort. I think I will.
But you're not watching documentaries, though. Like, how do you still carry that mentality going into something silly like? Listen, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like it's
silly.
It's
silly
awesome.
romp.
It's epic. If you like action,
silly.
I highly recommend.
It's silly. So, you know what? You convinced me for that. Can't aim.
But why?
I will.
God.
Well, he did research saying that they didn't know how to aim, these people. So I
These
guess that's
people?
accurate.
That is not very woke.
He meant the British Army.
Yeah.
I take offense very much. Thank you.
Anyhow, I still enjoyed that movie a lot, with only now 2 issues because Greg kind of convinced me on that one. 2 issues. So I don't have much more to say. Like, all of these scenes were the 2 friends, like one of them is on the other one's shoulder with the 2 shotguns. That was like peak entertainment. It's like, what other movie as someone carries someone else and they just go on a rampage? It's so creative, it's unique. I like it. So for me, this movie, after talking with Gray and Alex for a few seconds, bald guy, yeah. I think I will give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. What about you, Gray?
I think for me, this is a 10 out of 10, like as far as action flicks go. I do rate it a little different than I would, like Oscar nods or something like that. But like, this is peak action film. I think it's the best action flick I've seen in years. I am in love with this film. If I was to rank it like against all the other Oscar ones, it might be like a 9. Like it wouldn't be a perfect film, but as far as action films go, just over the top amazing in every level.
So great. You like this more than Dark Knight and the Mission Impossible movies in terms of action sequences?
Very much so.
Yeah.
I love Emilio Estevez in the first one, the looking up directly into the eye poker. But, other than that, yes, this beats out of all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Wait, before you go on to the next movie, you guys have covered Zone of Interest, right?
Yes, we
sir.
did.
All
You
right,
have
so-
seen it now?
Hold on. I have not
Okay.
finished it.
Okay.
The wife came home and I didn't want her after going to work to sit down and watch whatever is going on in there. So I watched some of it. I got to the part where the officer, the father of the household, takes the kids through the stream, whatever, in the boat, and it's contaminated. Is there something wrong with the sound, or is that my copy?
I think it's your copy. I
It
don't
might be your
think there
copy.
was it there wasn't any sound issue like that. Otherwise, I would have remembered and noted down because
Because
you know me, I nitpick.
I hear them clearly, but there's like this, I don't know, constant thing in the background going on.
It's
Well,
your
that's-
copy.
Kind of. Well, it depends. I bet it's the copy, because there is kind of a constant sound that's going on in the background. I'm wondering if it wasn't captured correctly on your version. Because like
My
it
uncle's
really
pretty
is supposed
good,
to
but
show
he's
you
not
like
the best.
the horror of what's going on just through audio. Like there's a
That might
reason
be
why
that.
it got like the sound design kind of award. It definitely.
Oh,
got-
okay. Yeah, it is this like something going on the other side of that wall. Like it's just constantly in there. So I was thinking maybe that was it. So it could be that. Because like
it
I
is
said, they're
definitely supposed to make you kind of tune it out and realize like how easily it would be for you to kind of tune this out. Just imagine. I don't know. It kind of puts you in their shoes in a weird way.
there's that like there's so much. The framing is interesting because they give you so much headspace. And one of the shots you could see a chimney, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. And it was just like, oh, I don't think they're making
second
s'mores over
best
there.
dog actor of the year, though. I think
Second
Snoop
best.
gets the first one. Well, yeah, I mean, Anatomy of a Fall. That's pretty great. But the dog in Zone of Interest also just so much emotion.
Why a dog actor? Why dogs?
Dude.
Why do dogs get to be actors? Why?
Because they're
They're the best
cool.
boy.
The dogs are the best animals, bro.
Yeah, Anatomy of a Fall. I couldn't act like that.
Yeah,
I liked
was
Anatomy of a
very
Fall.
upset.
Well,
I
dogs
liked it
just
so much.
how dare you say dogs are cool when they hate me?
How can a dog hate you? What did
They
you
know.
do? Did you like I don't know what you did to the dog, but
Do you
a
deliver
dog
mail
cannot-
in your spare time?
No, I just go outside just for fun or to do exercise, but I do nothing.
Do you tease them? Do you like
Could be your reptile nature.
walk? Do you walk on their tail?
No, I walk normal, like normal
Okay.
people.
Okay.
Is the contaminant in the water what I think it is? Unless it's a reveal.
Yes,
in the
they don't go into it any further, but you can kind of see how upset he is and how much he makes them scrub like the second they're done. So yes,
Yeah. And the thing about the lilacs was that like misdirection attempted, or is that really because like he scolded the other soldiers for messing around with the lilacs?
yeah, a lot of it's kind of open for interpretation.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it's just to show you the minutia that like helps you get out of actually seeing the horror that's going on. So a lot of it like isn't about what the plot's about, which is
Okay.
It's interesting. It's a different film. That Glazer guy is on another level.
A lot of that movie is like they try to normalize the way it was normalized for these people to do such atrocities. Like they speak about normal day stuff when it shouldn't be part of normal day stuff, and you will see a parallel. I won't spoil it because I don't know how far you are in the movie, but
Yeah, to the water. When he walked the boat through the stream, and it was
When
cloudy.
they're going tubing.
yeah. So there's a scene later on you will fully understand what I mean there.
Okay.
But it's really like they talk mundane about stuff that shouldn't be mundane, if we can call it that way.
Yeah.
I think Alex said it like the right way, and that's one of the strengths of this movie. I think I didn't really like the movie, but I enjoyed what they tried to do.
Yeah, I don't think like is a word you could use with something like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to recommend, but it's powerful. Did you realize who the female lead is?
No.
Did say that you'd seen Anatomy of a Fall, so that's also Sandra Hüller.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, me
Never
too.
did.
I didn't connect the dots, and I liked so much Anatomy of a Fall. So that actress has range, man.
So much range.
Yeah, I didn't connect the dot either. I was surprised when guys told me. I was, oh, really? Really? Did we watch the same movie?
Both really strong performances by her, and then the dog as well. Snoop and Slava the dog, both amazing performances as well. Great movies.
Yeah, I'll probably finish Zone of Interest tonight.
Yeah. Good luck with what's. I
I know what
think
I'm
the
in
best
for.
has to come.
It's
I
tough.
I
And
think
you haven't gotten kind of it has some really weird shots coming up.
Ooh,
yeah.
because the headspace isn't enough where I'm like, what? Get tighter. What are you doing? Oh, look, there's something back there. I see.
Yeah, that
When-
was a nice tangent.
Sorry.
What did you want to say?
There's
Go for
there's that one scene when a helper of the house, to be as ignorant as humanly possible, when she like sets up a tray and she pours like a shot for the guy, and she's like so nervous about it, and it's just one tiny little shot glass. It was like really while the two women of the house are like discussing nonsense, she's like so frantic and nervous about getting this little glass of
You really
alcohol.
picked up on that. It goes into that a little bit further.
Oh,
it's,
really?
Very interesting, man.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
I'm curious to talk to you later about this movie again once you have seen it to the end. That will
I'll
be
finish
a
it
fun
later.
small talk. So, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I wish it was better.
The Deuce.
So, Charles, do you remember well that one?
No, go to me last. I'll remember it as
we talk
I'll have
about it.
memory.
Charles, it's the one that has Blue Electro and Green Goblin.
Oh, color. Okay.
Colorful. So,
And the rhino.
Alligator Lives
Oh.
Matter. You are the
First.
first one.
It's
Yeah.
the Holdovers prequel?
It is. It's how he gets to that school.
And
So, DC, you're first.
It's also Alligator Lives Matter. No,
Sorry.
all right.
Did you just
so,
misgender? Or miss... No, all right, please run.
I
Run
think
away
he
from
misreptiled you.
Yes. Sorry, DC, run.
all right. So, this is, I would say, out of the Mark Webb Spider-Man films, this is probably the worst. But just because it's that does not mean it's the worst Spider-Man movie. It has its problems. Because so I'm gonna first start out with some of my problems. I do think that the storyline that the storylines that they tried to handle were pretty not the best. Gwen as a character was pretty lackluster. And I think like Green Goblin was not the best take of him, but I still prefer that take over No Way Home. That said, I do have some things I like. One quick negative before that, like I thought the Rhino was a little bit of an underwhelming character. Granted, he's not terrible villain in the comics, but it's like they constantly promoted him as he's one of the film's big bads. Yeah, he's only in the beginning and in the end, which is kind of lame. Oh yeah, for years I always thought that in the opening he's saying "toilet savage." It literally sounds like he's saying "toilet savage." Instead of
He might
saying,
be.
yeah, it's like I've listened to it a few times. I was like, it literally sounds like saying "toilet savage," which, yeah. Now Charles is beginning to wonder what I'm doing or what I'm saying, but yeah.
Don't worry about me. Do you?
Yeah, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the things I like. I like Electro's design. I think I prefer that over his normal comic design, which is just a green yellow costume. I prefer the blue lightning guy. Yeah. The fight scenes were great. I would say that the Times Square scene's great. It's very colorful. This film is very colorful, which I thought was a nice way compared to obviously the first ones. darker tone, but which I do like more. Yeah. Um, I will be honest. I really don't like Spider-Man's costume. That's like the one thing I've wished they kept from the first film. Is I think the first one was like perfect costume, but that's just me. I know I'm probably gonna be alone in that. But yeah. Yeah. Other things I enjoyed. I do like that they gave Rhino a more. People call it like a Transformer costume. I do prefer that. I do prefer that because I do like these Spider-Man versus Optimus Prime or Spider-Man versus Transformers kind of thing. So, not that I'm a huge Transformers fan, but yeah. Other things I like. I like the plane fight scene. I do think it's an interesting way to start the film. I like the music. Yeah. I do think Garfield still does a great job as Spider-Man. He's by far the best Spider-Man. Yeah. No, Green Goblin was sort of cool in some scenes. But yeah. Yeah. I think that's about it. So.
Okay. I don't know what was that. Okay, so
Stupid frog. I stepped on it by accident.
Oh, I thought that was Gray. I thought Gray did that.
See?
Chris muted.
That frog is elusive.
Anyway, Gray, what did you think of the amazing, not so amazing Spider-Man 2?
To me, not so amazing. I was a little underwhelmed. So I have issues with this film. And I guess it kind of extends from my issues with the first one. So I don't hate the way that they do Spider-Man in this. I think DC is right on that.
Yeah.
He does do Spider-Man pretty well. I like the way he fights as Spider-Man. I like the actual like web cannons as opposed to skin or a human produced web. I don't know. That's a little weird to me. That being said, I love the campiness, over the top tone from the Raimi films. I think, comics weren't really adapted that well before that. So it was kind of the weird campy take at it. This to me, I don't know. It's got so many parts that just miss. I do like when he is actually in the costume, when he is actually doing stuff, but I don't know. This Peter Parker just doesn't work for me. First off, so I like Andrew Garfield and other things, but I don't know. He's doing like this weird New York accent, and I didn't pick it up in the first film, but in this one, it is just like so over the top. Like specifically when he's talking to like Harry and they're like by the pond or whatever the hell they are. It is just like, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like this weird, like over the top, like not good, like East Coast accent that he's really trying. And then, I don't know. There's just like so much that they threw into this one. I feel a lot of Raimi's Spider-Man 3 vibes with this. I don't think it needs this many different characters, this many villains, everything going on all at once. I think they could have chosen like one story and kind of stuck with it. Instead, I feel like they rehashed the same like Gwen thing. Like, okay, it's kind of fun a couple times where, Captain Stacy or whatever appears to him and he has made this promise. But I don't know, the kind of like break up, get back together, break up, get back together, break up. I don't know. It feels like we went through that a bunch in the first film. I don't know why we keep doing that in this one. And then it really kind of takes the sting out of the end to that relationship, if you will, at least for me. But then, like, he just gets over it real quick because he watches her YouTube video or whatever. I don't know. Parts of it really miss. I really hate that they bring in Peter Parker's mother and father. I don't know. That whole thing to me leads nowhere. I don't need to know that he created the spiders with his DNA and that's why it only works for Peter Parker. I don't know. That seems a little different for me. I don't hate it. I know one of the comics at least kind of used that same thing, but I don't know. With the last one where we're bringing in, like, you're supposed to care about Uncle Ben and Aunt May, but you're also supposed to care about Mary Parker, and I can't remember his dad's name.
It's Richard Parker.
Richard,
and also
thank you.
Also great about the whole like he gets over it. It's because there's a time skip. It's like it's a few months.
I get you. He was moping around for months.
Yeah.
And then he watched the video and was good. No, I'm just being a jerk, man. I understand it's time. He actually accepted the message. It worked for him. I'm just being shitty on that. The part that I'm not just being shitty on is like, I don't know. There's just so many tones for this. So like it starts out with Rhino, but it kind of bookends with Rhino for no reason. And then we see the whole Harry thing where we didn't know that he knows Harry at all, but all of a sudden they're just best friends and we just never mentioned it. Like we had this whole thing, but yeah, the whole time that he was trying to gain access to his best friend's father's corporation, we just didn't need to know that, he was best friends with the kid. That was weird. So I don't know. It feels a little retconned, and then all of a sudden he's got like some sort of family curse disease that's unnamed that's killing his father, and now will kill him in weeks or something. I don't know. There's just parts of it that don't really work for me. I wish they had done a third one and they had kept like the whole Harry and the his father, the Oscorp ones. If they just kept that for the next one and then just like spent the time that they needed to actually like earn that for me, I think that would have been cool. And then I hate the whole, at some point, like his relationship isn't working. He's kind of stalking the girl. And then all of a sudden he decides like, okay, we've had this fight. What I need to do is make this crazy web map and solve my parents' murder disappearance thing. Just kind of like out of nowhere. And then he just kind of gives up on it. And then at one point he just throws his calculator. And then all of a sudden it's got these weird subway tokens. And then that immediately pays off to, oh yeah, my dad has this secret subway car platform science lab. I don't know. It just, that whole part really doesn't work for me. And then I guess I wanted more out of the Jamie Foxx thing. I don't think Jamie Foxx does a bad job. I just think it's weird choices, like eels are what gives him his power. And suddenly being electrocuted by eels somehow fixes the gap in his front teeth. Like it is so weird. Why did they do that shot? But yeah, I don't know. Parts of it kind of work for me, but all the Peter Parker stuff really doesn't work for me. It might just be a me thing. And then you kind of know what's going to happen with Gwen Stacy. So it all kind of leads up to that. But the whole fight with the Goblin is just so fast. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's quite earned. I wish they had kept that for an entire separate movie. Just kind of dealt with the Electro on this one, but that's just me. I think Jamie Foxx does pretty good as the character. He makes you sympathetic. You understand that, like, he is kind of this disturbed individual who is taken advantage of and has this unfortunate situation. It kind of makes you have empathy for him. He's not just a useless character. And then he hits him with the car and he explodes. So it's weird. I don't know. It's a mixed bag for me. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I think it suffered from a lot of what Raimi's Spider-Man 3 suffered from. There's just too much in it.
I second you. I agree with what you said. It breaks my heart because I feel like there's a lot of parts in this movie that are parts of what could be a good movie, but it's not because they all mashed it together like, oh, the more the better, and it's not the case here. It's not by making like 20 storyline that will make one work. So my first issue would be the humor was pathetic to witness in the truck chase. They tried so hard to be funny. I thought the humor in the first one was on point, but here, like, I felt like they took a dump. I don't know, that wasn't funny. Next up would be the movie had too many villains, and Electro was distracting from Harry and Oscorp storyline. Even if they are kind of intertwined because it's because of Oscorp, he has his powers and such, and there's a cover-up, and Oscorp is wrong. I still feel like Electro was distracting. The next stop would be plot convenience, bumping into Harry in the elevator. I think that was by the end, just before Harry captured her. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember what I refer to be honest there. Next up would be the scientists were stupid since they placed Electro in a prison of electricity. It's like, yeah, feed him, make him stronger. That looks smart. He won't break out. No, he won't break out. He will just remain quiet there. Electro was a shit villain. Even if the idea behind him was cool, the execution was bad. Harry is already dying. Why wouldn't they try giving him the Spider-Man blood? Hey, we need drama and we need an extra villain. The God Sparkle line was piss poor. It wasn't funny. It tried really hard to be. Rushed and wasted Sinister Six tease with Rhino. What was the point of that scene? That was by the end.
I believe they were going to be the main villain in the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but of course, Malta had to come in and cancel that.
Next up would be pacing. Last 30-minute ruined Spider-Man grief and Peter's short-lived growth. So I feel like if they opened if the movie was about Peter and Gwen Stacy, their relationship and only that, and then at some point she get deleted, for example, like at the 1 hour mark or the 1 hour and a half mark and such, and she dies, then you could experience the grief and how Peter really deal with that. But in this movie, it's like 10 minutes, he's no longer Spider-Man, and then, he sees a cool video and he's back on track. He wants to be Spider-Man again. It's like, no.
Like I said, I like, it's a time skip. So
I don't care. It's like they mashed it at the end because they were like, she just died. We need things to move on. It's like, if they deleted her off, like, I don't know, 1 hour and a half mark instead of 2 hour mark, then you would have like an entire half an hour dedicated to the grief. And then you can have him like a time skip or something, and then you let him have the growth or whatever. Like, I just think the execution felt rushed. It's like there's 2 hours about like 4 disjointed storyline, and then Gwen dies, and then let's have 10 minutes of grief, and then Peter is back, and then the movie ends. It's like you spent 2 hours building like 5 storylines, and you had a 6th one like at the very end in the last half an hour. It's like, guys are lost on what you want to do. Like, guys just don't know what you want to do. Yeah, I really hated the ending. I'm fine with Gwen dying. Again, that could have been a great storyline if that was earlier, if we had more time to breathe instead of, she dies, Peter is no longer Spider-Man 10 minutes. Peter is back. Cool.
That's dark.
Outside of that, I will admit the action was entertaining. I enjoyed Gwen and Peter relationship, and even like Harry and Peter bond, even if the start of their friendship was off screen, that was kind of cool. And seeing them like trying to be friend again, like in the past, I enjoyed that aspect. But again, there's like too many things going on for 2 hours and 30 minutes. It feels like 4 movies smashed into one. It's sad. I enjoyed the music, and I enjoyed Gwen dying. And
and then gets all of our channels, including your channel, demonetized and banned.
We're not monetized in the first place, bro.
Well, I was doing some push-ups, but you just made me laugh out loud, like so weirdly high-pitched when you said your enjoyment of Gwen dying. Okay, we each like different aspects of the film. I kind of like it when he's in the spider suit falling from buildings. You like it when Gwen dies. I get you.
Yeah. And I like the action. Again, when he was Spider-Man, that was great. And how he needed to like take up to have the right take to fight Electro, that was cool. I enjoyed that. So it's
okay.
it's a movie I would have liked if they separated it in like that's an easy like two or three different movies. One about Gwen and Peter, and then Gwen dying, and then Peter dealing with that grief. That could be a good, amazing Spider-Man 2. And then with the third one, either you go the Electro route or like Green Goblin route, depending what you really want to do. And and then with the fourth movie, then you can try to set up some of the Sinister Six. That would have been so much better than what we got. This is a bit sad. So this is still a movie I like, but I don't think is good. I still enjoyed parts of it, most of it actually, and I will say this movie for me is a guilty pleasure. So Charles, what did you think of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 after we talked about it? Does this bring back memories?
No, I remember hating it.
But
Nothing
Charles,
has changed about that.
You gotta have some optimism. Gotta have some optimism, man.
Do you remember the
Optimism.
legendary performance from Paul Giamatti where he has the barbed
That I
wire
do.
tattooed around his head?
I do remember that. And yes, his character was maybe not fleshed out. Is that what you said, DC? Maybe not fleshed out. You precious.
I only said Multi wasn't here, and it was probably best that he didn't because I thought that he said in his opening he says something like I thought he says toilet savage. Multi is now disturbed.
Yeah,
No,
I am.
which
He's just thinking about Gwen dying.
I think Multi is now just
hell yeah. So, I think I will give this movie a 4 out of 10. Again, that's a movie I liked, but that's not a good movie. So DC, what would be your grade out of 10?
I'm actually gonna give it probably a 7.5.
What about you, Gray?
Yeah, I think for all the misses for me, it just ends up being a little bit more negative than positive. As much as it pains me, I think I have the same score as you, Multi. I think I'd give it a 4. But I did not like it.
We are in the same boat, but he did not like it. So it's a shame. Again, I like a lot of things they did, but damn, they did too many things they shouldn't have. So that was this week. Quite fun movies to watch. I'm excited about next week with the topics for next week and the end of Invincible Season 2. So, what do you have going on your end of the internet, DC?
I should be having I should upload every single day this week. Part of it is just to get more for The Walking Dead, so I can finish season 10. Which good news is I should at least be done, but around like maybe next week or somewhere around there. If I could, but yeah. And I can see Multa is happy, but he's happy for bad reasons because he loves The Walking Dead.
Well, season 6 so far, I like it. I've seen 4 episodes. I like these 4 episodes, to be honest. I'm shocked. I'm baffled. I don't believe what I'm seeing. Like, I hated the
I don't
show.
think he's wrong, though. I think you're happy for the wrong reasons.
Norm, I really don't believe Multi because, yeah, I've had my problems with The Walking Dead, but at least my reasons, it seems everybody are more understanding than his. But yeah,
I got reasons.
I don't believe.
I have every right to hate it. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
Anyways, but yeah, I have been, yeah, that's all I have. I should have videos coming out at least this week. But yeah.
Okay, what about you, Dre? What is going on your end of the internet?
Yeah, not much, sadly. I should have some reviews out on this channel, and I should have a main video out sometime in the near future. I have a bird running around my house right now. But yeah, check me out on Thursdays on That Darn Kiddas channel. Most of the people on here have been on. Hopefully everybody on here will be on one day.
Okay, what about you, Charles? What do you have going on your end of the internet?
That's a good question. There's a couple of things that I'm taking in. I'd like to start filming recorded material again, but this is the room where I'd be doing it, and it's not exactly ready yet. We still have stuff in boxes from when my wife moved here first. So for now, it's just streaming. But in the near future, some more edited content will return. But I don't know when. Probably after I see you again.
Until
Okay.
we had to live this horrible nightmare of Multi's dreams because he just loves tormenting us.
No. What are you talking about? Anyway, anything else, Charles?
I more often than not am with Gray. Now it seems like Mondays and Thursdays. But Thursdays on the Thinkers is when you'll see me next.
Or tomorrow if you join us.
Oh, yeah. I'll
It seems like a bit
same time.
much.
Yeah, same time, 4 p.m.
That
Yeah.
channel.
Yep,
Yeah.
same time.
Getting tired of Gray, but okay. I'll be
And
fine.
maybe tomorrow's topic will resonate well with you. I don't know. Let me look back because I forgot.
Do you even
the
know what
exact
your
wording.
topic is?
Yes,
No,
I
he
think I
doesn't.
posted it. Did I post? No, I didn't post it, but I did
it's,
trade the StreamYard link.
It's
Usually, I post the topic, but
yeah.
the exact wording of it is humor and comedy and their effect on health.
Oh, I have nothing to contribute to that. Nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
If you want to talk
But
about
you
box office numbers, then I'm that guy. But comedy.
He is the box office guy.
Yeah, it's like I don't get this one, but okay.
You don't get that one, huh?
Yeah, I don't get
I
it.
don't
Like
get that one.
I don't get how comedy and humor are affected.
Is it genuine or
Wait,
you really don't get it?
did I break out or did he? I couldn't hear.
No,
what
he
he-
nodded.
I really unless
You're Robo.
Irony.
Robo
Wow,
DC.
then-
Sadly, the timing of
Oh.
this is perfect, and it is comedic, and it is healing the wounds that Multi inflicted during this stream.
So he doesn't get.
Robo DC.
Wait,
This
I-
Robo
does seem like a punchline. He doesn't get the topic of humor.
Yeah,
being
I don't.
helpful.
Okay. All right. So do I sound better
You're back.
or?
Now
Yeah,
you do.
you're back.
All right. So what
You
I'm
sound
saying
beautiful.
is, okay. What I don't get is the humor and comedy and their effect on health. Unless you're talking about mental health, I can sort of see it, but I don't get this.
Mental health
Okay.
affects physical health too.
Yeah.
Have you never
They
seen
are
Patch
into
Adams?
fun.
I've never even heard of Patch Adams.
Okay, so I'm excited to talk about that tomorrow even more now that DC is like baffled by it. That will be fun. And tonight I will try to find some article on that. That could be fun to go over an article to make it a bit special tomorrow, a bit like one of the first few episodes we ever did. But yeah, Charles, I'm sure you can bring a lot of very interesting perspective because you're a comedian, you know?
But no,
No,
pressure.
no.
We know you're the billboard guy. Box
No,
office guy.
Charles, you're our punching bag. Charles, you're our
Anyhow.
punching bag, so we had to trash you on the most.
I take it. That's fine. Equal opportunity trashing.
Anyhow, this marks the end for tonight. I had a blast. Thank you all for coming, and this ends now.